hiccup. I'm pretty confident this is not Dead by Daylight. Pretty confident. Apparently my internet's super spotty today, so we'll see how well this goes. Apparently. Oops. Alright. So, just some water in my system. Whew. Well, last time, we got the normal ending, which was a great time. But that's not the best ending. Hey, King Cheese, how's it going? So, we need to go back. We need to do with a few things. So, from what I can understand, this is the normal ending of the game. I did a little bit of a synopsis on what the normal ending entails. Also, this needs to be pointed this way. There we go. So, essentially, to sum up what the epilogue is of the normal ending, Maria freaks out, believes Kanon is dead. Kenji Osawa takes a bullet. He is dead. Kenji dies. Bomb is stopped. Kanon gets let, or Alphard gets let free. That's what that ending is. But there's apparently a true ending that's better. Apparently. So, yeah, so in this normal ending, Osawa is dead. Confirmed. It is dead. Or he is dead. So here's what I'm thinking. All I know is that there are choices that lead to it. And I believe I was told by... I believe I was reading that there are 4 choices. What my idea is I'm going to look back at kind of the steps and choose what is probably the right stuff. So I'm thinking that if I choose the right set of like 4 things, and I think it has to relate to the case. So I think it has to do with Jack realizing things. Like, because that would help reveal things. So I'm thinking, I thought I only got 1 wrong, but I might have gotten more. Because I think it was just that one. So if Alphard herself was on the way to the lab now, then what was the objective of the fake? Indiscriminate terrorism. No, that's not right. It's the bomb. So I think it's to act as a decoy. This is the worst ending? Yo, true. But we can see what the true ending is. I don't know anything about the true ending. All I know is that there are 4 options. Yeah, so to act as a decoy. So to Tenno. Aiming at Kanon. Calling it Tomi, which we can't change. Arrival at the lab. Don't send Kanon in. A blocked path. Is in the way. So I assume that if we get it right, the bottom will change. That's my idea, at least. Go straight to Inferno. Okay, so that's all correct. Stanley goes on his own. Stanley suggestion. Waiting for Achi. We wait. UA virus. What are you thinking? Oh, we also have some missing, we haven't seen all the options, so we can see that. It's called Down Dim. I'm getting revenge for my partner. I'm getting revenge for my partner. Kado thought back to the sight of Sasayama sprawled out and bleeding on the pavement. Thanks to this man's scheme, his partner was now teetering on the brink of death. Alphard should pay for that. By the way, I found out something between games. Calmly, Kano flicked the lighter on. You can't be serious. You can't be serious, Palmer's eyes fixed on the tiny flicker of flame. The password. Alright, so I was told... Yeah. So, you could actually skip through things. By holding down on the D-pad. You could actually skip through a lot of things. So where's the bomb? He had to find the explosive, and soon. He took another hard look at the case. I'll shake it. Now see, I'm holding down, but it's not letting me skip. So that's telling me that we've already, that we have not seen this before. Achi held the attaché case up high and shook it roughly back and forth. But as he was about to throw it, he heard a faint metallic sound. Quickly, he lowered the case again. He was certain the noise had come from inside. Once more, he opened the case and looked inside. Yep, okay, that's it. Because then it jet skips. Where's le bomb? Where's le bomb? Took another hard look at the case. I'll smash it apart. Achi lifted the case high overhead, intending to hurl it against the ground. But as he was about to throw it, he heard a faint metallic sound. Quickly lowered the case again. He was certain the noise had come from inside. Yep. I also have some cool things I want to show, by the way. Which would be pretty interesting. King Cheese, I know you are super excited about it. Revenge or mission? So that had been for the past 2 years? Yeah. Marvel's of ferocity. If I don't stick to her level, I'll never be able to beat her. Stanley's heart had room for nothing but revenge. The law wasn't going to punish Alphard. Stanley was. He didn't care if anyone else thought it was a petty vendetta. Only someone who'd suffered the loss of a loved one at the hands of a vicious killer could understand his seething resentment. Yep. Alright, cool. I feel like revenge or mission. I feel like a lot of these choices revolve around it. I know. So, I think this is the correct choice. See, the problem is I don't know, like, I must be missing something. Hey, Navy, how's it going? Rising emotions. Like, there's got to be some sort of things. See, David. So I was talking to David Dickerson, who's part of the Discord and such, and he, you know, him and I were talking about, like, looking up like the ending and such. And he said he ended up looking up like the way to go. And I was like, maybe not the best. Like, I want to try to figure it out myself. But I'm wondering, like, you know, I might succumb and just decide, screw it, I'll look up the options. Maybe this? I got it! I got the true ending! I figured it out! Didn't even have to look it up. I figured it out. All I have to do is I just want to know the password, and he tells the password. Oh my gosh, I did it. I didn't even look it up. Let's go. Confrontation. That isn't canon! Maria's voice exploded to a silence over the standoff. I doubt we're getting better testimony than that, Stanley said, his gun still at the ready. There's no talking away out of things this time. The expression of Alphard's face didn't change. She stood still, a mannequin without a soul. What did you do to Cannon? Maria demanded, marching unsteadily toward the terrorist. Maria, stay back, Osawa exclaimed. She ignored him. Hey, don't get any closer, Teteno barked. Hey, Static, how's it going? He looked exhausted, on the verge of collapse. Answer me, Maria cried, still advancing. What happened to Cannon? But still, Alphard said nothing. Stanley, too, began edging closer toward her. It doesn't matter what you ask, he said. She won't tell you anything. Bit by bit, he inched closer. He was going to try to take her down. Let me turn your question around, Alphard said abruptly. What do you think? Maria paused, confused. What do I think about what? What do you think happened to Cannon? The corners of her lips twisted up, shaping a mirthless smile. You killed her, didn't you? Maria's words came out as a whisper. What was that? I couldn't quite hear you. You killed Cannon, didn't you? This time Maria cried out with biting fury. Alphard snickered. She's provoking me, Maria thought, forcing herself to swallow her rage. She couldn't let herself get caught up in Alphard's game, or her anger would spill out of control. Why are you laughing? By force of will, Maria made her voice firm and steady. Because I'm guessing you weren't expecting me to show up here. Wait. Because I'm guessing you weren't expecting me to show up here. Alphard raised an eyebrow ever so slightly. This thing here, it's a bomb, isn't it? Maria held out the necklace. What? Stanley furrowed his brow. Ah, of course. Even if we managed to catch you here, you'd still be able to destroy the lab. Still, the smile remained on Alphard's face. She seemed to enjoy watching the others figure out her intentions. But you can't trigger the bomb with me standing this close to you, can you? Maria locked eyes with Alphard, unless you're prepared to sacrifice yourself. He stood like an image of bravery, while on the inside her apprehension threatened to tear her apart. She could feel her heart thudding so furiously that she thought it might explode. What a Baba, how's it going? Cold sweat trickled down her spine. Only her rage at Cannon's murder kept her from backing down. Go ahead and blow yourself up if that's what you want, she said, but you'll die with nothing. Your death will mean nothing, but not mine. My death will avenge Cannon's. Silence fell outside the laboratory gates. Stanley and Teteno stood frozen, their guns still trained on Alphard. Both men were ready to pull the trigger at the slightest provocation. Just how long had they been there, staring one another down? The passage of time seemed to slow, seconds drawn into hours. Osawa swallowed audibly. Finally, Alphard tossed her gun out into the pavement and held up both hands in surrender. Stanley wasted no time springing forward to secure her. He gave her a thorough pat-down from behind. He removed a small device that looked like a detonator from one of her pockets. On your knees! Alphard did as she was told. Good. Now hands behind your head. Try anything funny and I will shoot. Without a word, Alphard placed her hands on the back of her head, fingers laced together. What are you playing at? Stanley growled disdainfully. Finally realized you could only push your luck so far? She responded with a faint snicker. It's not my policy to resist when things are hopeless. Her tone was detached, her intentions unreadable. Good. I'll make it this easy. Stanley kept the barrel of his gun pointed at Alphard's head. This is for my brother. The words hung in his throat, unspoken. A surge of emotion coursed through him. Just a tiny bit more pressure from his index finger and he could put a bullet right through Alphard's head. His long journey would finally reach its conclusion, but although he had wished for this moment more than anything, his finger did not move. New dialogue! New dialogue! If he pulled the trigger now, would that truly be the end? His mind reeled at the implications. Teteno watched Stanley closely, eventually letting out a tiny sigh of relief. They were in this together, after all. Now they just needed to be careful not to let down their guard. He kept one eye on Alphard as he went to pick up the gun she just discarded, but he was too late. The gun was gone. This is for Cannon! Maria had lunged forward, snatching up the gun. Maria, no! Osawa cried. What are you thinking? She ignored her father, taking aim at Alphard's forehead. Cannon's dead, and you're gonna pay. The smoldering rage she fought to hold back blazed up with renewed fury. Maria, Stanley said calmly, put down the gun. He had nothing but words to stop her. There was no telling what Alphard might do if he took his gun off her. What will this accomplish? He asked, keeping his tone as level as possible. Maria's face remained awash with anger. Maria, her father pleaded, please don't do this. Teteno took a step forward. Go on, hand me the gun, he said. Stay back! Maria's arm trembled as she aimed the gun. Everyone stood frozen, not even daring to breathe. The slightest wrong move might bring disaster. The silence roared. I don't care, Alphard sneered. If you want to shoot, then shoot. You do want to avenge Cannon, don't you? Yes, I do. Maria tightened her grip on the gun. Memories of her friend drifted through her mind. To Maria, born into peace, meeting Cannon had been like touching a world beyond her own, a far more complicated world. Cannon had blood on her hands from the time she was a little girl. A walking contradiction of cruelty and childishness. And yet, she had lived her life according to her own unshakable beliefs. Meeting her had made Maria think hard about her own identity. What did it mean to be Japanese? No, that wasn't the question. What did it mean to be Maria Osawa? That was the crux of it all. They had been able to find common ground, despite differing ideals, because both possessed an unshakable sense of self. Maria made her decision. We have a choice! I can't shoot her, I'm not like Cannon. I'll pull the trigger and finish what Cannon started. That's the only way to make this right by her. We can't shoot her. Maria's anger dissipated like smoke in a sudden wind. The tension seeped from her body, and she carefully lowered the gun. What's the matter? Alphard smirked. Why won't you shoot? Her eyes blazed with contempt for Maria's naivete. No, I'm not being naive, Maria told herself. Don't do unto others as they have done to you. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. What does this recurring pattern of retribution really accomplish? It's just an endless cycle of hatred. That's why I'm not going to fight. Because I'm not like Cannon. Tears flooded from her eyes. I'm not like Cannon, but people who are different can still be friends, and I'm going to honor our friendship by not taking revenge. No matter what happens, I'm not going to hurt anyone, Maria said. Maybe that's not very realistic, but this is my fight, and I'll fight the way I choose. She wiped away her tears. For the first time, Maria felt that she understood Cannon. If she'd been able to see her just one more time, she would have been able to speak her mind without fear. I could show Cannon the true me, and maybe then we would be friends for real. But that wasn't going to happen. Not anymore. Maria handed the gun to Tateno, then looked up at the nighttime sky. In the distance, she could faintly hear the sound of police sirens. Not one star could be seen in the sky over Shibuya. So keep in mind, Osawa did not get shot right now. A black car of foreign make arrived at the laboratory and pulled up to the curb. Stanley's superior, Gordon, emerged from the back. A few of his men followed and promptly placed Alphard in handcuffs. Well done, Gordon said. Stanley gave him a slight nod. I'll be taking Alphard back to headquarters. You can finish up here. Understood, sir. Gordon shoved Alphard into the back seat and slid in alongside her. The car drove off. Who was that just now? Tateno asked Stanley. My boss. Sorry, but we'll be taking Alphard into custody. You will, huh? Tateno frowned, but decided not to press the point. They put a stop to Alphard's plan, and they have saved Maria's life. That was enough for him. Maybe he even began to atone for what he'd done to Hitomi. Kano, Suzune, Kotone, Tateno pictured all of their faces. Perhaps in the end, he'd managed to become worthy of their respect. It's all over. Stanley spoke under his breath, his gaze locked on the car, taking Alphard away. The black cloud that hung over his heart had yet to lift, but he knew that today was the day he could finally put revenge aside. No longer would memories of his brother bring only sorrow. This'll do, won't it, Frank? Abruptly, Maria's cell phone rang in Stanley's pocket. That's right, I meant to give this back to you. He handed the phone to Maria. I wonder who's calling. Maria picked up. Keep in mind, we never answered this last time. She could hardly believe it when she heard the voice on the line. Brusque yet girlish with a daredevil ring, a voice that had been burned into her mind since the day she met its owner. No, it can't be. She had been sure she'd never hear that voice again. In an instant, Maria's face was damp with tears of joy. Thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. Cannon. Cannon's alive! Cannon is alive! Maria couldn't hold back her sobs. The tears kept coming and coming. She had never wept with joy like this in her life. Keep in mind, last ending, the normal ending, we never answered the phone. We never knew who it was. 2 seconds. Again, like goosebumps all over. Oh my goodness. Achi held his breath. He could no longer feel the seconds ticking by. The numbers on the display were changing more and more slowly, but still he watched in fear. 2 seconds. Nice, Cassie. Also hi. It was impossible not to fixate on the countdown. 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Kano and Achi continued to stare at the timer. 2 seconds. It stopped. The timer had actually stopped. We did it! Achi dropped to his knees with a cry of triumph. The rest of the Shibuya Scramble burst into cheers. You're one reckless guy, you know that? Kano held his hand out. Achi grinned up at him. Yep, exactly, King. Exactly. That makes two of us. The two clasped hands firmly, their handshake conveying more than any words could have. Achi! Susumu came rushing over. You did it, man! I knew you could do it! The two bumped fists. We're just me, Achi said. Could never have done it without you guys' help. Susumu smiled bashfully. Hey, Susumu, take care of SOS for me. You got it. Susumu looked him squarely in the eye. Achi gave a little nod, and the two solemnly bumped fists again. Suddenly, there was a blinding flash. Achi spun around to see Chiaki standing there, beaming happily, her digital camera ready for another shot. Hey everyone, gather up! Minorikawa called out to Achi and his pals. You guys are heroes of Shibuya! Photo time, everyone, Chiaki said. Get ready! The young men struck a pose together. Wait, her too! Minorikawa ushered Hitomi over to stand with Achi. Hitomi! Achi flashed her a sheepish grin. It was all thanks to Hitomi that he'd been able to do what he had done, keeping Shibuya safe. Keeping his promise to Suzune. Hitomi had been his inspiration for it all. There were so many things he wanted to say, but he couldn't get the right words out. Achi, Hitomi's cheeks were damp with tears. Hey now, young lady, Minorikawa called. No crying now. Come on, show us a smile. He struck a goofy pose beside Chiaki. At last, the smile returned to Hitomi's face. It really is the best. It really is the best. Hitomi looked at Achi in confusion. Your smile, he said. It's the best. I don't care what anyone else says. He spoke so earnestly that Hitomi couldn't help but smile even more. Okay, here we go, people. Get your best faces on. At Minorikawa's signal, everyone let out a joyous victory cry. Come on, guys, as we shouted, let's lift Achi up where everyone can see him. Members of us let out another roar. Huh? No, you don't gotta do that, guys. Hey, cut it out! But Achi had already been swallowed by the enthusiastic throng. Heave ho! Heave ho! Heave ho! Ho ho! There in the middle of the scramble, Achi was being hailed as a hero. Kano looked on with a satisfied smile. What they had achieved together was nothing less than a miracle. It had taken a lot of luck, and more than a few coincidences for them to stop the bomb. Coincidences? Kano muttered to himself. No, that wasn't right. There was something different altogether. Fate. That's what it was. And not just one person's fate. The destinies of several people had collided, gathering momentum until coincidence became inevitability, and Shibuya was saved. The raucous crowd tossed Achi high into the air again and again. As a plainclothes detective, Kano would probably never be showered with adulation quite like that. Well, that was all right. A detective's duty was to ensure the safety of the people. He didn't put his life on the line so that he could be a hero. Just seeing all those smiles, that was good enough for him. Kano only needed the approval of one person, and that was Rumi. Rumi, I hope she managed to get out of Shibuya okay. Suddenly worried, Kano pulled out his phone. Hey, he never called Rumi last time! There was a whole bunch of things he wanted to tell her. He couldn't share the whole story, police rules wouldn't allow it, but he wanted to let her know as much as he could. I don't think so, at least. That the kidnapping case had been resolved safely, for instance. That he'd learned about the tortured past of the detective he so admired. That his partner was going to pull through. That he managed to finally talk to her father. That he'd put his life on the line to save Shibuya from danger. Rumi would listen quietly to the very end, and then Kano thought he knew just what she'd say. Short and sweet, in that gentle voice of hers. Good job. Rumi, hello. There was no response. Did they have a bad connection? Hello? Rumi, are you there? Can you hear me? Look, the case is closed now. If you're still somewhere close to Shibuya, I'd love to see you if I can. You want to see me? You want to see me, huh? Don't you have a mountain of paperwork you should be doing first? The gruff voice was Shizo's. Oh, well, you see, Father, I told you not to call me that. Shizo barked so loudly over the phone that Kano's ear rang. Right, no, of course. Yes, I'll do my job. I just wanted to check and make sure that Rumi was all right. Look, looks like I misjudged you. Maybe you are the kind of guy who'll blow off work to go meet with a girl. Dad, hey! Kano heard Rumi's voice cry out with exasperation. Come on, let me have my phone. I know that work is important, sir, Kano said hurriedly, but Rumi is even more important to me. He felt his panic rising. After all that had happened, he didn't want Shizo to end up with a bad impression. Oh, be quiet. If you want to see Rumi, you can do it once you've finished your work. Well, but I'm not sure when that's going to be. I waited on you today a lot longer than I wanted, so at this point I don't care how long it takes you. We can wait all night if we have to. Shizo let out a peculiar sigh. Aww. And then you and I could talk again about your marrying my daughter. Let's go! Kato's gonna get married! It'd actually be a good ending! Huh? Before Kato could be sure he'd heard that right, Shizo hung up. Huh? What? He stared at the phone, his mind reeling, and then he was hit with a veritable explosion of joy. Yeah! Holy crap, he's got the jumps! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! What up, Mrs. Vian? Yes! Kato leapt into the air and shouted with delight, his voice echoing throughout the Shibuya streets. Alright, there we go. New sense. Once the crowd had put Achi back down on his feet, he rushed over to Hitomi. So, Hitomi. Yes? Hitomi, there's so much stuff I want to talk to you about. There's so many things I want to tell you. He gazed into her face. But Suzune, he didn't know how to continue. Hitomi smiled warmly. She understood. Come on, Achi. Go see your sister. There's nobody here in trouble that you need to rescue now. Thank you. I better get going then, to see Suzune. Achi broke away from his circle of friends and headed out to Shibuya Scramble. Strangely enough, his leg didn't hurt too much now. Despite all that had happened, he felt invigorated, as if he was just waking to a brand new day. Achi, Hitomi called after him. I'll see you again, won't I? Achi nodded vigorously. Of course. Just come to Shibuya. You'll find me. He had been born and raised in Shibuya, but after today, he loved the place more than ever. That's way better ending than the previous one. Kato got married. Achi and Hitomi are a really good ship. Minorikawa's not dead. Osawa's not dead. Now we have to just see if Kanon gets left free. Because keep in mind, in the normal ending, Kanon got let go because she had ins with the CIA. Miss a lot? Yeah, that's... So we didn't look it up. Keep in mind, I did not look up what the correct choices were. I want to set the record straight. I know for, like, the KFC game, I was like, you know what, I don't want to waste any time because the other endings are literally just one-word differences. I want to get the best ending right off the bat. I'm going to look up what it was, go there. But I swear, I only looked up that there were 4 choices that I had to change, but I didn't see which ones. All I saw was that there were 4. But I changed like 5 or 6, I think. Waifu! What a fighter, how's it going? Waifu? Kung Fu Waifu? What you know? You me head? Well, internet might be pretty bad. King. Mainly because... Also, it's Mr. Viantastic. Hold on. Why are you no longer Mrs. Viantastic? I just noticed that. How long have you been like that? Alright, but there are some things I do want to show before we do the quiz, after we finish this true ending. But yeah, this, once again, really, really good game. Really, really good game. And it's good to know that Kanon's alive. For those who know that there was the Kanon anime that's after this. 2016, that was male. Okay. But wasn't you were Mrs. Viantastic before, because you eat the Nyannis. I'm so confused. Just to like be called Mrs. Gotcha. I got you. I was just a little bit confused there. But good old credits. Since a week. So there are some. There's. Hold on. Let me check my phone. So I have 2 Easter eggs I have to show off, and then something really, really heartwarming. So stick around for that. We'll be doing that after the true ending. Okay. Sounds good. Just to be in. Gosh, I now want to just listen to the song on repeat. I was trying to listen to the song on repeat yesterday at work. I forgot. So, Good stuff, though. Good stuff. Definitely, once again, favorite game of all time. I'm going to still back this up, that this is definitely my favorite game of all time. Such a good story. Such a fun time. And we're not done yet. We still have Suzune's, and we have... so, from what I understand, there are 3 full-length scenarios. And I know that from the achievements. Oh, Cassie. It's all good. Well, okay. So there's 3 full-length, like, side stories, essentially. Side scenarios. But we have more. Also, okay, so I think Cannon's being let free again. That's unfortunate. Gordon and Alphard sat in the back seat as the car sped along the highway. Here. Gordon tossed the handcuff key onto the seat beside him. What happened down at the Scramble? Alphard asked, picking up the key and unlocking her cuffs. Leland Palmer was arrested by the Japanese police, and the bomb in the attaché case was defused apparently. Still, Palmer shouldn't pose a problem once we get him into CIA custody. I see. Much obliged. You really got yourself backed into a corner, though, didn't you? Gordon said. Yeah, I was only able to accomplish half of what I intended. Half? Alfred produced a vial from her pocket. It was filled with red liquid. Is that Tommy's blood? Gordon asked. Indeed. I managed to acquire the antiviral. But when? Gordon peered at her with bewilderment. When I blew up the minivan. In the dim light of the vehicle, Alfred's eyes shone darkly like those of a wounded animal. Extracting the blood from Toby while she was unconscious had been a simple matter. Saving the girl's life had been more than just means of ensuring her trust. Alfred had been looking for the right moment to carry out the extraction. Total secrecy was essential. If it became public knowledge that the drug existed, and that some of it had been stolen, the value of the UA virus would plummet. Eggplant? I'm sorry, his theme is called Eggplant? That's great. Our primary objective here was to destroy that research facility. Still, getting our hands on the antiviral is better than nothing. Well done as always, Alphard. Ooh. That was canon. Also, what up, Sparky? But that was canon. But after getting the true ending, we get the black bookmark. And whose story is the black bookmark, you may ask? Well, if it wasn't obvious from what's on top of that black bookmark.
コードが変えられている。
解放戦線を裏切ったのか。
目的となる貨物車両を3両。警報は解除したんじゃないのか。
定か、そちらの進行は。
潜入経路に問題はない。みんな黙らせていいんだよ。
彼女の専門は暗号を破る。
それ以外に理由はない。
待て。
渋谷の文字はお前とは相性が悪いみたいだ。
Final curtain. Canon preview added the bonus content. So, kind of, I believe. So yes, that is the anime. So here's the thing. When it comes to the anime is a sequel to this game. The anime is a sequel to this game, I will say. It is not a spin-off, it is a direct sequel. With 3 characters from this game, not including Canon herself. 3 main characters in this game returning. By the way, if you guys want to see Canon's face, I think we could see it now. Yeah, so we get to see Canon's face. Now, as you can see, it's set up as an anime. From what I understand about Canon's story in this game, because it's not the anime itself, I believe this is a prequel to everything that happens in 428 Shibuya Scramble. I believe. And then we also got Suzune. We will not... yeah, Minorikawa and Maria are teamed up together in the anime. So Maria is the main character, and Minorikawa is actually her assistant. Minorikawa looks vastly different. If I can... Hold on, I have it pulled up here. Because I was reading through some of the stuff. Did I miss the story? You missed the true ending. So, Sparky, to catch up the speed, Osawa is not dead. Canon is alive. And still let go. So, let me just... here, we're gonna switch over to just me, so I can show you guys. So, as you can see, we have Canon. Canon being completely different. As you can see, that is going to be what she looks like in the anime. Maria... So Maria, as you guys know, is, you know, Japanese girl with brown hair. This is Maria Osawa in the anime. Definitely a bit different. Absolutely different. Her hair is significantly longer. But that is Maria Osawa. And then Minorikawa. This is Minorikawa. And yes, this is the same Minorikawa that you guys know and love. A little blurry there. It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's Minorikawa. Also, what up, Katoni-kun? Directly evolved ending? Yeah. Now, there is one other person who shows up, and it's Kenji. Kenji Osawa shows up. So, something else I want to show. Before we jump into the quiz, we're not going to be doing the side stories today. We'll be doing those next time. There's going to be 3 streams total left of this game. Today's the first one where we're going to try to do... maybe 3. We'll see. I only have until 2 o'clock. Alright, so I showed King Cheese this. Yeah, indeed, Gitone. So I showed King Cheese this earlier, if I can. So I was... Your favorite character is Minorikawa? Yo, Minorikawa is great. So I know King Cheese is excited to see this. I was pursuing TV Tropes because I love TV Tropes. TV Tropes is one of my favorite websites of all times. And usually tells me a lot about like Easter eggs, a little bit of trivia that I never knew, so on and so forth. And they have different sections that they talk about. One of them is the heartwarming section. And I love the heartwarming section. It makes you feel good inside and reminds you of like good things that happen in the game. But they had a picture. I don't know when this was taken, but actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me... Queen Cheese, I sent this to you. Or, sorry, King Cheese, I sent this to you, didn't I? Hold on. Let me open original. Save image. Here, I'm gonna pull this up on screen so that way it makes it easy. Yeah, no, I gotcha. I gotcha. True. I think it's 5 years, I want to say. And Katone-kun, you might have to help me out on this as well, because I know you've been paying attention close to the series. So, this is a picture that was taken, I believe, 5 years after the scene. I got this with TV Tropes. I'm just saying, like, this is from it. It's not like people cosplaying or anything, from what I understand. I just wanted to show this off real quick because this is really cool to show the cast back together. Because you guys You have Chiaki from the left. You have Kibazuka, the taxi driver, to Tenno. Look at Achi all grown up in the back there. I believe the person in the front is Kano. The person in the back, Osawa. Person up front, I believe, is the knickknack shop owner, and Minorikawa, who's on the far right. I don't know who the two people in the back are, though. I really don't. Like, between Osawa and Minorikawa, I do not know who those two are. I've been trying to figure out who they are. Yeah, the taxi driver is right next to Tenno. Correct. Kibazuka is right next to Tenno. You guys can't really see my mouse on screen, but like I'm moving my mouse to try to show you guys, and it's not really working. But yeah, Kano is the guy in the green jacket up front. I know that much too. I want to say the guy next to Minorikawa is Yadagashita, but I'm not sure. It's possible one of them could be Suzune. Or not Suzune, Susabu. Possible one of those could be Susabu. One of them could be Daisuke. I don't know who exactly, or they could be the creative directors. Actually, I think the guy in the hat might be the creative director. Yeah. So here's another thing. So here, there is one secret I can show right now. No. So there is another Easter egg I want to show off. I can't show the other Easter egg because it takes place during a scenario, and the scenario we will not be getting for a while. As far as I know. But I want to show you guys one more Easter egg. It's an Achi story. If I can find it. It's amazing. Yeah. Hope you guys like the picture. By the way, Katone-kun, I was telling King Cheese this, by the way. You can hold down and that skips. Like, that skips around if you hold it down. Yep, it does. If you hold it down on the D-pad. I just never do it because you have to hold it down for like 2 seconds. But yeah, it does actually have a... have it. Alright, so yeah, this guy right here. This fellow. Who I believe is the guy in the hat. That was in it. This guy is actually the creative director of the game. I don't know his name. I think it might be... Hold on. Shibuya Scramble. Creative director. Hey Lawrence, how's it going? I think this is... I might get this wrong. I might totally be wrong. This might be Takeshi Furuta. I think it might be Takeshi Furuta. Because this is the creative director. Either that or it's Tsuyoshi Furuta, who is the creative designer of the game. But yeah, that's who... This is a Easter egg of the creative director designer being in the game. What did I put in my notes? I didn't put who he was. Cool. But yeah, just a cool Easter egg. Just a cool Easter egg. Also, another thing. King Cheese, you also mentioned during the true ending that it says for April 28th. That's actually, I believe, the first time you know that it's April 28th in this game, showing that it is 4/28. Also, real quick, if we do choose the other option, this is the last option we have to see because I've shown off everything else. If we pull the trigger, this is for... We get the regular ending. So we're not going to do that. Let's just choose the true ending. Yeah, I believe that's the first time it says that. So I can't shoot her. I'm not like cannon. For the true ending. Alright, cool. So, with that being said... Well, Katone, there's more. So, there is... Okay, I want to try something. So, I was doing a lot of research. Let's go back to the main menu. I want to go back to the main menu because I want to talk about how fucking ludicrous some of these scenarios are, okay? How fucking crazy these are. I was doing research. I did not want to. I want to set the record straight. I did not want to... More ludicrous. Exactly, Katone. I did not want to see exactly the reason and how to get some of these scenarios. The only thing I checked was how to, like, what stipulations were needed for the true ending, and it said I had to get 4 correct choices. Pretty simple to get the 4 correct choices. We already got that. We got the true ending. We get Suzune's scenario, and we get Canon's scenario. There is a 3rd scenario, from what I know, which is where the other Easter egg is, and I only know about that one because of the Easter egg. I don't know how to get that one, per se. But there are 2 other scenarios. Let me pull up my list here, what their names are. Okay. So there's one called the Conspiracy scenario and the True Conspiracy scenario. I have a list of, like, the scenarios because I wanted to make sure, like, I got everything and I wanted to find it. I did not check to see, like, you know, how to see it and whatnot. But as I was doing research, and David, like my friend David who played through the game, he said that he looked up everything to get all of them. So cool there. Apparently, you have to recall the names of Spike Chunsoft of Spike Chunsoft the company at the time this game came out in order to get one of these endings. Which I thought was fucking insane. Now, I don't know what the name is, but I was just doing research and just like, people said, I think it was in a GameFAQs post or something, where you have to, in order to find one of the endings, you have to choose a name. And I don't know about that. Before we get into the quiz, I wanted to give it a shot. The only thing I could think of... This is the only thing I could think of, because I was just going back through, I was playing the game a little bit, just to kind of like go back through, and I want to say that the ending is here for a common name, because that's the only place where a name shows up. That's the only thing I can think of. So I was gonna... Well, do I have to choose Endo? Let me see if I have to choose Endo. But apparently after you beat the game, you could choose something. And especially after you choose it, you're supposed to get something different. So I'm guessing it's going to be this... Because I'm thinking it has to still be Achi as the first one, but not the second one. So I was going through back the entire game. There's no other place I can recall where names come up. So... yeah. Mori Tanaka. Images of the victim's face. I don't know if there's any other prerequisites. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other prerequisites that are needed. Let me double check. What was one of the first names, actually? Hold on. Oh, you know what? I might have to do, if I recall... Oops. Wait, why? What's going on here? I think I have to do the quiz first. I think I know what it is. According to Wikipedia, it's Nakamura. I think according to it. I don't know if I have to do something else beforehand, but we'll give that a try later. Let's just do the pop quiz right now and see where it goes. Alright, so pop quiz, let's go. The UA virus is approximately this many nanometers in diameter, 3 digits. I think it's 100. Yeah, I got it! So let's put our brains together. Congrats. So this goes through a lot of the blue stuff. Answering pop quiz questions correctly will let you read special episodes. Enjoy the tale of Ozu and Utaro Sagawa. So these two. Ozu snarled at the young man who sat before him in the dingy little office belonging to Takarada Financing. Do you understand what it means to break a promise between men? The men glared back at him. What do you want me to say? He muttered. Ozu had seen that same look plenty of times before he despised it. It was the look of a man who hadn't realized he'd already lost. Ozu hated people like that more than ever. 5 million, and the interest on it hasn't been paid. When was the payment for that interest due again? Yesterday. Well, if you knew that, then how come you haven't paid it? Ozu's voice rose to a bellow that practically shook the windows. He couldn't tolerate anyone breaking promises. No exceptions. I understand. Despite Ozu's fury, the man seemed unconcerned. Now work it off, I'm in shape. His upper arms sported bulging biceps. They were the arms of a fighter. Or if that's not good, I could always sell my organs, the man added nonchalantly. It struck Ozu as a ridiculous offer, the suggestion of a clueless youth. Listen, pal, you can't just up and offer to sell your organs. Your parents would want you to take better care of yourself. I've taken care of myself and so my organs. Stop jerking me around. Or Ozu lurched to his feet and kicked the table hard. I'm not jerking anyone around. I'm being serious. The man looked squarely back at Ozu. What did you spend the 5 million on? The older man grumbled. If I tell you that, will you wipe the debt clean? Of course not. Again, Ozu kicked the table. The young man shrugged. I need some funds to set up a bank transfer scam. Oh? Ozu straightened up reflexively, picking up the cent of money. But a scam like that requires a fake account in someone else's name. Yes, it does. I tried to go through some black market channels to get one, but well, I just wound up losing my money over and over. The man continued, describing how he'd blown through over 1.5 million yen before landing the fake account. I figured that once I had the accounts, though, I'd be able to make something work. Thinking that his fraud scheme needed a bigger team, the man had tried to recruit some scam artists online. He pointed up 3 million to use for advance funds for the effort, but once he'd given it over to the team he assembled, they all skipped town the next day. I like how he's just like, yo, I'm gonna hire scam artists. Thinking they're gonna be trustworthy. Of course not. Now desperate, he'd taken the remaining 500,000 to illegally purchase a list of easy marks. So this contained the phone numbers of several dozen other people who had fallen for such bank transfer schemes before. The man had tried making his way down the list, calling one number after the other. None of the numbers on the list, however, actually wound up connecting to anyone. Rather than craft his own fraud scheme, the man had fallen victim to one himself. You're looking for some suckers, we got suckered yourself, Ozu snorted. Yeah, the man grumbled sullenly. Look, could you please let me make a quick phone call? A phone call, huh? This isn't the mark I've been working on since this morning. It just needs a little bit more coaxing. If I pull it off, I might be able to pay what I owe. There was no way this guy was pulling off a scam. For all he heard so far, Ozu was sure of it. But that made him all the more amused at the thought of letting this guy have his call. This I gotta hear. Go ahead, make your call. Ozu turned the phone speaker on, then handed the receiver to the other man. With a notebook in his other hand, the man dialed. The phone rang several times, and then someone picked up. Hello, Grandma, it's me. Did you get the money? Oh, Masa, is that you? How's school going? I'm already working now, Grandma. Didn't I tell you? Oh, yes, that's right. How lovely. How's your homework looking for today? Oh, make sure you come straight home and don't eat too much candy while you're out. The old woman at the other end of the line sounded completely senile. She was under the mistaken impression that this man was her grandson. So anyway, Grandma, you remember what we talked about last time? Did you get the money? Money? Was there something that you wanted? No, it's not like that. Do you remember our phone call from earlier? Phone call? What do you mean? These two weren't even on the same page. Ozu frowned skeptically as he listened to the back and forth. Remember I said I'd been in a car accident? I hurt someone really bad. I need to pay a settlement. Masa, you don't need to lie, you know. Lie? The man looked panicked. I'm not lying. It's alright, grandmothers can tell this sort of thing. But I'm not lying. I bet you really want to buy some new video game. It's okay, Masa. I've got enough saved up to buy it for you. Don't you worry. I've been all alone ever since your grandpa died, and so I'm just happy when you call me. Buying you a video game is the least I can do. The joy in the old woman's voice left the con artist a loss for words. Your father and your uncles never come around to see me anymore. I'm so very happy you called. Thanks to you, I feel like I might live another 10 years. Forget 10 years. I want you to see 100 more years, Grandma, the young man managed to rasp. His eyes had grown blurry with tears. Masa? Yeah? Will you call me again? Yeah, I will. That's a promise now. I will, I swear I will. Alright, I'll talk to you later then. The man hung up the phone. Oh, they'll make that into a movie for sure, Ozu said with a faint chuckle. Really have no sense of duplicity whatsoever. Same, Katone. Same. The man hung his head. But there's something even more unforgivable to me than that. Ozu took a step forward, looming aggressively above the other man. The fellow began to tremble. Real men don't break promises. Ozu snatched the detour by the collar and dragged him to his feet. I'm gonna have you work off what you owe me real slow. The man blinked in confusion. You're gonna work under me for the rest of my life, and you're gonna keep your act with that old lady until she dies. Huh? I'm not letting you break your promise to call her. Suddenly a tiny hint of kindness showed through Ozu's gruff expression. Several years had passed since then. The younger man still makes the rounds with Ozu still deep in debt. His name is Yutaro Sagawa. What? So the guy with the floral shirt, who I believe is Sagawa, he's actually in debt. And he's working with Ozu. I gave him the wrong voice the entire time, but holy crap. Yeah, no, true, Katone. True. His schedule for today involves collecting money at the apartment of some broke actor, putting pressure on the president of a publishing company with cash flow problems, and then shaking down some shady guy who's trying to sell some weird diet drink. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I saw that. I saw that. Hold on. Hold on. What did I miss? I missed something. I can't skip this right now, but I saw the green. I saw the green. Am I gonna need something? Hold on. Hold on. My note card senses are tingling right now. Hold on, where are my note cards? I swear I have my note cards somewhere. Where are my note cards? Straight up, I had like a shit ton. There they are. So like, yeah, that's true, Katade. That's very, very true. Hold on. Why was it green? Did anyone else catch that it was green? Was I just imagining things? Was I imagining things? Sorry, I have to kind of go through this. I think you're imagining things. I want to double check though. I swear it was green, which is like the bad ending screens. Spamming the A button because this is a weird skip mechanism because it has to go to the next scene in order to skip it. But it's cool we're learning about the minor characters though. That's pretty awesome. You become senile? I'm the grandmother?
Oh, dearies, I've become the grandmother now. I don't know when I became a woman. And also I don't know when I became old. But I understand. I understand.
It is green! How did you enjoy that tale of the loan shark's first meeting? We hope you found it entertaining. Now here's some tempting info for you. In Osawa's story, in the 1200 time block, rubber gloves appear at some point. During that scene, the background zooms away, right? Try waiting for the moment to finish and see what happens. Have fun with that and see you next time. Sorry, what? Hold on, I'm writing this down. Osawa, 12 o'clock, rubber gloves. I was right. I swear I was. 12 o'clock. I have to search the entirety of the 12 o'clock block? Okay, well, it's gotta be when he's unclogging toilets. Hold on, it's gotta be when he's unclogging toilets, right? Keep a lookout for rubber gloves. This is a weird sound, by the way. Excuse me. See, good I had my note cards, because I was gonna keep more note cards out here, because I didn't know what, like, I had my one with the password on it, because I didn't know if I needed that. Like, because I still don't know what the password means, by the way. I've tried figuring it out. Oh yeah, this scene. This scene. Look, if you want to talk, we do it out there. Which is suit pocket, fished out his cell phone. Like, this has to be where the rubber gloves are, right? Yeah, no, true, Katone, true. Look at Osawa. Toilet paper. I swear we've seen no rubber gloves in here, right? I don't see any rubber gloves. It's apparently a place where the background zooms out. I'm not seeing any rubber gloves. It's been a while since we've seen this scene, though, to be fair. Weirdly enough, I just edited the highlights of this scene, so... because of, you know, not wanting to eat. I already did eat. I already did eat. Could it be that Tanaka and Hitomi are dating? No. Rubber gloves! Where are we? Hold on, let me just see. Hitomi per... okay. Do we just wait here? Is this the scene? Those are definitely rubber gloves. I don't know what to expect. Do we just chill here? I don't know if it looks like that the scene is like zooming out. Does it look like the screen zooming out? Should I progress a little bit further? I'm nervous about what I'm gonna see. Wrote down the time just in case. Well, thank you. Thank you. Should I proceed a little bit? Because it doesn't look like the background is zooming out. Like that? Okay. Maybe let's just wait here. Let's just wait here. He looks a little bit... he looks concerned. I don't know what to expect. I'm scared. Because, like... what if something just jumps out and it's just like, "Hi, you got this." It's like I'm not ready for this. 12:25. Okay. Doesn't look like it's backing out. Should I just keep waiting? Maybe we just wait for a bit. Maybe we just wait. I don't know how long we're supposed to wait. Let's give it 5 minutes. Maybe. Let's give it 5 minutes or so. I think that's even that long though. That face though, true. 2 hours later. Don't think it's gonna be 2 hours. I feel like I should be looking for a scene with rubber gloves where it keeps backing out more and more. Maybe? Let me just see if there's a place where like it looks like it's like the scene's backing out a lot more. I mean, it does make the most sense. Yeah, it has to be that scene. So I guess we just wait. So we have to wait till it says, "Oh goodness." All right, let's just keep skipping through it. 2 hours later. Well, this has to be it. Should we take 5 and here, once it gets to "Oh goodness," I'll start a timer. Because I get the feeling that this is going to be the same for others. Might be the same time. Who knows? Take 5. Take 5 and chill. There's so much more to this game than we first thought. Take 5 gum? Yo, 5 gum is delicious. Let's be real here. Little plunger. They aren't dating. Okay. Starting the timer. I'm gonna keep it on this scene. We'll see how long it goes. But anyway, you know, hope everyone's doing a good day today. You know I don't have anything to talk about when it's just like, I hope everyone's having a good day today. Like, I don't know. I like these like little weird things that are in games, like little like additions, I guess you could say. How's my day? My day's pretty good, you know, started. I woke up. I wanted to wake up early. I wanted to wake up at 10 so we can get a good jump on in this game. But I don't know, the exhaustion from like earlier just definitely got to me. Because I went to sleep at 5 in the morning after Dead by Daylight. And then after that, you know, which toilet paper does one person need? Apparently a lot. People are doomsday sheltering it up here. I'm still excited to work from home, hopefully in the next few days. Fun thing is, since I'm probably going to be on hold quite a lot, because I'm probably just doing phone calls, I have to talk to my work on Monday to figure out what I'm doing. But if they are just having me take phone calls and I'm just on hold a lot, it might give me more time to edit, which will be interesting. But I definitely need to make sure I focus on my actual work. I'm working 10-hour days starting. Well, I'm working 10-hour days starting on Monday. Actually, you know what? While we're at it, that reminds me, I need to purchase Animal Crossing on the Switch, like the digital version. So let me do that right now. Get all this taken care of, you know? Animal Crossing. See, I'm ordering the physical copy, but I know people are gonna be like, yo, you know, aren't you gonna play it when it comes out? And I don't know when they're gonna be delivering it, especially with all the coronavirus stuff going on. So I do this real quick. I just have to purchase it real quick. Ready at GameStop? Nice. See, my GameStops don't do they don't do the thing anymore. They don't do, oh my gosh, whatever it's called. They don't do midnight releases, which sucks. So, it is what it is. Credit card. Credit amount only. Use this card. We might just have to pull up Picross, by the way. Depending on how long this takes. It has to be the scene. Right? There's no other scene. Those are rubber gloves. Those are definitely rubber gloves. Headphones purchase. I mean, I could edit while we're in the meantime, but I don't want you guys hearing what's going on. All right, Animal Crossing's been pre-purchased digitally. Good thing I could do that right now. So, I'll just have that off to the side. See if there was a Udapri event going on right now. I definitely would be doing that. So, what else did I tell you to do with the scene? It just said wait, like as the scene was zooming out. But it doesn't look like it's zooming out. Wait. Wait a second. It is zooming out. It's very minute. I don't think you guys can see it, but there is a black bar that's slowly moving. Like it's moving very, very slowly. But there is a black bar that is showing up. I don't think you guys can definitely see it, but it's definitely, there's a black bar. I can say for certain there is a black bar showing up. I never noticed it until just now. We are at 5 minutes, by the way. We are at 5 minutes. At some point, we're just gonna have to play like Picross just to let the time fly. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can see like the black bars. But it's ever so slowly. Like it looks like it's pixel by pixel. I'm not pressing anything. I'm scared. I don't want to press anything right now. We are at 6 minutes of just waiting. I know, true. But like, how long is this wait? I wonder if David knows this. That's a great question. Because if anyone would know this, it would be David. Because he's the only other person that I know who's played this game. See, now it doesn't look like the black bar is growing at all. It's definitely not up and down. It definitely looks like it's the bar to the right. I'm trying to see if David's getting on. Congrats! You have a lot of your time on your hands. Save K. I don't know. Maybe click on the back? I'm not clicking. I have the controller plugged in, remember? So I can't use anything controller-wise. It just said to wait. Hey, David. Real quick. Have you done the pop quiz before? Or yet with 428? You have. Okay. So we just did the first one, and we did check the hint, and it said to, you know, wait for the scene with rubber gloves, which I believe is this scene. Do you know how long we have to wait? Or even if I am on the right scene. Maybe it is the next scene. I swear the black bar is moving, like, ever so slightly on the right side. But we're at 8 minutes right now. It could be the next scene. It could definitely be the next scene. But either that or I've just been so unaware of this black bar. This is the first one. So it's what we know, what we were told was Osawa's story, 12 o'clock hour, rubber gloves. So here's the rubber gloves. And it just said to wait. But I don't know if it's this scene or if it's the next one with Kajiwara. Right now we're at almost 9 minutes of waiting. Okay, I kind of go to 10, and I think I'm just going to go to the next scene with just Kajiwara standing there. See, now the black bar looks like it's stopped. See, to me, it seems like it sounded like it was getting like a little bit closer, but not anymore. I might have been just imagining things. I might be so tired that it's just, yeah. I'm nervous for like some sort of jump scare. Saying congratulations. I'll be like, no, please, jump scares, no. I mean, this is the only scene that I could think of that has rubber gloves. It's the bathroom scene. It is the next scene? So it is the one where it zooms out to him. Okay. Let me reset. Let's try that again. So it's when it zooms out the first time. So I think it just has to zoom out and then it has to like act like it's continually to zoom out. You have a lot of time on your hands. True. Have you done these scenes before, David, or no? I'm just curious. Because you said you've done the pop quiz and such. So. Also, David, we got the true ending without looking it up. I feel pretty proud of myself, not gonna lie. But let's see how long this goes. I have the timer reset. I have the timer reset to see how long this takes. So that way, if we do wait on the wrong scene, now we know for the future. But we reached 10 minutes in the first one. My heart's pounding. I'm scared. I'm scared with what I'm about to witness. Like, I hate the anticipation of waiting. Because once you start waiting, it just gets more and more concerning. That's the thing. And I don't know what my heart can take, you know? That's the key. Also, David, how have you been? Hope you've been doing well, buddy. Hope you has been doing well. Okay, now the black bars are always there. I'm just stupid. It looked like the black bar like just like appeared and just started getting bigger and bigger, and that's when I was like, oh geez, things are happening. But what time is this? So right now this is 12:25, but this is the 1200 block, which I believe is what it said. Yeah, exactly, King, exactly. Aren't we all? Unless it means specifically at 1200. It could mean specifically at 1200. Keep going? Just wait. Are you saying like keep going waiting? Also, it sounds like you've not seen this before. This isn't it. This isn't it. But these are rubber gloves. Keep clicking. So keep proceeding through the scenes? Well, what else would we find rubber gloves? Okay. But I am close. Oh, you know what? It did say, hold on. Okay, we're dumb. Okay, because it was saying, hold on, keep this in mind. It was saying that, did you notice that the screen seemed to keep moving out? The scenes aren't moving out. So it has to be that the screen has to keep moving out quite a bit. Okay, that might be what we're looking for here. Hold on. Okay, there's another rubber glove. It's moving. Okay. This is the scene where it's moving. It's moving. So, let's see what we see. Because now since this is moving, this should have a good time. This should be a good sign. Why am I hearing the ending music? Is this signifying that we're on the right track? I'm scared to see what's gonna happen when it gets to the side. Because the ending music is amazing. I mean, true. Okay, so if you hear this music, you're on the right track. Good to know. Good to know. Have you 100%ed the game at this point, by the way, David? I'm just curious. I'm so scared. I don't know what's about to happen. I hate waiting in games. Oh, there's a blue! There's a blue! Whoa. It's blue and white. Getting ready to write this down. It's red. Kanji? Is that kanji? Did you ask? Oh, I was asking if you 100% the game. Does that mean clean? I think that's mean clean. That's on Achi shirt, right? You did? Nice, nice. So extra 2 minutes. Okay. Do I press it right now? Oh, I pressed A. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yoshio Kajiwara. Kajiwara looked across the interrogation room table at the robbery suspect who sat opposite. Please, the detective said, all I ask is that you tell me what you know. What's in it for me if I do? The suspect leaned back in his seat and crossed his arms, a smug look on his face. The casual observer, glancing in at the door, would have had no trouble deciding who was interrogating whom. A less experienced detective would probably have been on a fuse. What's in it for you, Kajiwara remained as detached as ever. Over years of interrogation practice, he developed a laid-back, low-pressure style. Well, if you don't give me anything, I'm just going to have to keep talking. By now, their back and forth had been going on for quite some time. Kajiwara stole a glance at his wristwatch. It was after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I know you didn't have lunch, so I bet you're hungry. Here, eat up. The detective produced a deep-fried curry bun from his pocket. What? The man eyed it dubiously. Would you prefer a banana? Asked Kajiwara. The man cracked a faint smile as he accepted the curry bun. You sure it's okay doing this? Why wouldn't it be? Is that an under-the-table bribe to get me to incriminate myself? What if I testify in court that I was coerced into giving a confession? Then I'll bill you for the curry bun. With tax, it comes to 280 yen. The suspect was taken aback. 280 yen? Isn't that kind of expensive? They're handmade from my favorite bakery. Waited in line myself to buy them this morning. Kajiwara took another curry bun from his pocket for himself. Okay, so he's got curry and bananas. The two ate in silence, a temporary cessation of hostilities. Need something to drink? The detective produced a carton of milk from his pocket. Where'd you get this milk? I hate milk. It gives me indigestion. I see. Kajiwara reached back into his pocket, this time pulling out a cup. Whoa, hey, hold up. The man's expression turns quizzical. What's this? It's a vessel used for drinking beverages. No, I know what a cup is. Kajiwara pulled a teapot out of his pocket. Huh? It was filled with scalding hot black tea. This shouldn't upset your stomach. Go on, have a cup. Seriously, hold on. Oh, are you not familiar with black tea either? No, that's not it. The man slammed his hands on the table and glared back at Kajiwara. What the hell is with your pockets? How much stuff do you have packed in there? How much? Shall we see? Kajiwara reached a hand into a pocket. He proceeded to pull out a comb, a handheld video game, some rice crackers, a screwdriver, a folding umbrella, a stuffed Tama plush. Wait. The man waved his arms in agitation. How the heck do you have so much stuff in there? It's quite convenient, really. It's not the point, the man shouted. The interrogation room door opened and another policeman stuck his head in. Detective Kajiwara, may I have a moment? From the look of the other officer's face, Kajiwara surmised at once what was going on. There was a new case. He stepped out of the briefing room and his colleague explained the situation. We have received a tip-off that a wanted individual has checked into a Shibuya Central Hospital under an assumed name. Leaving the robbery suspect to another detective, Kajiwara prepared to head to the scene. When he got to the motor pool, however, he found that all the squad callers had been taken out. Without much other choice, he hopped onto a bicycle. He took a rotating police light from his pocket and set it on the bike's basket. Then he pedaled it away at top speed. Upon arriving at the hospital, Kajiwara hurried into the lobby. He scanned the area looking for the suspect. The individual in question was 180 centimeters tall, weighed 90 kilos, and had a big scar near one eye. Kajiwara recalled hearing that he was a former rugby player. His colleague, Detective Kano, had been a rugby player too. From what Kajiwara had seen, most rugby players were quite physically capable. Their arrest would require some finesse. Aha! The detective nearly voiced his surprise aloud. A large-statued man was sitting on one of the sofas in the lobby. Surely Kajiwara couldn't have got so lucky right off the bat. He quietly approached and peered at the man's face. The fellow had a big scar near his eye. There was no doubt about it. This was the wanted man. Excuse me, Kajiwara said calmly. The suspect started, then lunged forward and gave him a powerful shove. The man was even stronger than Kajiwara had imagined. The detective went spiraling out into the lobby floor. The man took off running. He was remarkably quick for someone who was supposed to be sick. Once he made it outside, he snatched Kajiwara's bicycle and zoomed away. Damn it! The detective pulled a skateboard from his pocket and went after him. He just had a skateboard in his pocket? Dude just has a skateboard in his pocket? The culprit took a look back over his shoulder. His jaw dropped in astonishment. He sped into a nearby parking garage. Evidently he had some sort of remote control because a shutter dropped down to close the entrance behind him. What the heck? Taking a chainsaw from his pocket! Taking a chainsaw from his pocket, Kajiwara cut through the steel shutter like it was paper. When he stepped inside, he saw that the suspect was taking the elevator to the rooftop. By the time Kajiwara reached the rooftop himself, the man had hopped over the guard fence and leapt to the building next door. The crook grinned at him, his face flushed with triumph. There was a good 6-meter gap between the buildings. Kajiwara would never be able to make that jump. Aha, I've got just the thing! From his pocket, the detective pulled a long rope with a grappling hook on one end. Hurling the hook with all of his strength, he hooked it onto the fence of the adjoining building. Yeah! Unleashing a battle cry, the detective jumped and swung to the next building. The suspect was dumbstruck as Kajiwara stood before him. I think that's enough of this little game of tag, Kajiwara said, but still a glint of defiance in the criminal's eyes. He crouched low, shoulders lurched, and arms at the ready. It looks like he was going to launch into a rugby tackle. Kajiwara couldn't stand up to a head-on charge from someone that big. He might as well go careening over the edge of the roof to splatter on the concrete far below. Should he dodge aside then? No, if this guy was a rugby player, that would be a no easy feat. The culprit stared him down, then began to rush forward. Dodging wasn't an option. Neither was bearing the brunt of the impact, which left only one thing. Aha! Kajiwara pulled a hose from his pocket. It was kind of used by fire engines, 50 meters in diameter. Take this! Just before the criminal could land the tackle, the limp hose suddenly plumped up. The massive torrent of water gushed forth. The burly man was blasted backwards as if he were an empty paper bag. There's more where that came from. Kajiwara continued to unload water onto the man, battering him into unconsciousness. Then he looked down at the culprit lying there on the rooftop and quietly shook his head. If he hadn't tried to resist, none of this would have been necessary. Kajiwara himself was drenched head to toe with water. How did he have water? Where was that hose connected? Does he have a bladder so big that he's just... Kajiwara, what the fuck, man? He reached into his pocket for his handkerchief. His hand stopped. Kajiwara sighed and shook his head. Of all the days to forget his handkerchief. Alright, that's not open. Special episode. Okay, cool. Cool. Huh. Alright. So here's what we're gonna do then. We're gonna finish all the quizzes first, and then we'll kind of go back and do all those. Bonus content though. Which means, yeah, secret scenes. Cool. 12. So that means there must be 22. 1 through 11, 12 through 22. Makes sense. Alright, let's go back to the pop quiz. Detective Sasayama's pet name for his wife. Michan. Damn it. No dice. Someone's pet name for his wife. Oh shit. Don't give me the answer. I have an idea. Hey, look, it's Tama. Oops, I didn't mean to go there. Guess we got Cannon and Suzune. By the way, David, can I do the conspiracy stuff yet? Because I think I found one of the names. Because I checked Wikipedia, and Nakamura is one of the choices. So I didn't know if there was a... that was a thing. Seeing this, I was going with stabbing. Sirens. I was right. I just missed an I. I did not finish the mean clean scenario. I only know that, I know there was Cannon and Suzune. I haven't touched those yet. I've heard there was a mean clean scenario because that's one of the Easter eggs. And then there's the conspiracy stuff. I like how I missed Michan by 1 letter. I was so correct. How many of you cringe? Comes after that, okay. How many people cringe when I got Michan wrong by 1 letter? Congrats. Alright. Maki Yonida. One should carry soba and make it tasty. What are you talking about? Maki Yonida snapped from the kitchen. Everything this old gal makes is tasty. She grabs a bundle of soba noodles and tosses them roughly into a roiling pot. Humming a tune to herself as she tended to the soba, she heard another faint humming join in, seemingly from out of nowhere. Alright, let's do this. Alright, let's do this. The tiny voice had come down by Maki's feet. Another day for making delicious noodles. A different voice, this time from the shadows of the dingy kitchen shelf. Yeah. A series of diminutive figures, each about the size of pinky finger, leapt a bit out from amidst the haphazard assortment of spice jars. They lined up on the floor, these little tiny little fairies, 7 in total, all carefully keeping out of Maki's line of sight. What? Oh, I gotcha. They were food spirits that had come from Italy, and they protected the flavor of Dogen Hut's soba noodles. Their leader, Mario, specialized in meat dishes. What? Salvatore could track down fresh ingredients in the blink of an eye. Cheerful Antoine was a wizard when it came to sauce. There was Marcello, a wine connoisseur and the most sarcastic fellow in the world. Franco, the neat freak, loved a clean, tidy kitchen. None could outmatch the pasta-making skills of Fabrizio, who had a divine touch. Roberto, the quiet one, could tell you all about pizza dough. Maki set the finished bowl of chilled curry soba on the kitchen table. Now! While the woman's back was turned, the spirits added more salt and dashi stock to the noodles. In the blink of an eye, the soba seasonings were refined to perfection. Magnifico! With their work complete, the fairies hid themselves once again. Just why had these 7 food sprites taken up residence in Dogen Hut? The story begins 2 years prior. Mario and the others had been dwelling in a 3-star restaurant in Rome, and they'd heard rumors that there were 5-star restaurants popping up all over Japan. Naturally, as food sprites, they couldn't just stand idly by. Hey everyone, let's go to Japan! And so, heeding Mario's rallying cry, the gang snuck aboard a plane bound for Tokyo. But after finally arriving at their destination, they were unable to find any 5-star restaurants anywhere. By the time they realized that the rumors they'd heard had been mere rumors, they were starving, nearly on the verge of death. They wandered around aimlessly until they arrived at Shibuya. Then, as they tottered their way up to Dogenzaka, the aroma of curry tickled their noses. The scent came from a soba restaurant called Dogen Hut, partway up the hill. The sprites peeked inside and saw Maki and her husband busily at work. Seeking into the kitchen, they found that the scent of curry was wafting from a porcelain bowl on the counter. This was Dogen Hut's house specialty, chilled curry soba. Despite their misgivings, the sprites stole themselves a taste. What is this? The food sprites looked at one another in surprise. The dashi, soy sauce, and curry all come together in perfect harmony. The smooth and chewy noodles offer a different appeal than the pasta. The group shouted in excitement, caught up in the moment. So taken were they by the chilled curry soba that they decided to settle down at Dogen Hut's kitchen from that day onward. But then the owner of Dogen Hut fell ill and passed away. After Maki took over her late husband's restaurant, it quickly became apparent that she had no talent for cooking whatsoever. Shockingly, she couldn't even tell the difference between salt and sugar, rice wine, and vinegar. And she had no idea how to make the soup for the chilled curry soba, sometimes tossing things like curry-flavored rice crackers and meat and potatoes into the pot. If Maki were left to her own devices, the restaurant was sure to go under. We're the only ones who could save this place, Mario declared. None of the others had any objections. The flavor of the chilled curry soba was worth any effort. And today, yet again, their specialty soba was delighting customers' palates, thanks to the helping hands of the sprites. Okay, Maki called out, 1 chilled curry soba, sorry for the wait. As delicious as ever, ma'am. You really can't get this flavor anywhere else. Down at Maki's feet, the sprites frowned. We're the ones who made it, though. Maintaining the flavor of the restaurant's dishes was certainly worth doing. Recently, however, it had begun to feel a little empty. Nobody knew that it was the food sprites who made the soba special. Maki was the one who was always praised for how tasty it was. There was no finer joy in cooking than seeing the smiles on diners' faces. But despite all the sprites' hard work, no one had ever smiled for them. They needed to remain hidden, but the lack of recognition still left them feeling rather lonely. Oh, that's right, Maki announced brightly. There's been some talk about releasing a Dogen Hut recipe book. With a start, the sprites looked up at her at once, as one. The old woman was clearly overjoyed. Uh-oh. What do we do? A cold sweat broke out across the sprites' fuller heads. This was Maki here. She'd probably write about how she made the stock using curry crackers and stuff. But as busy as you are running the restaurant, do you even have time to write the book? The customer asked between happy slurps of a soba. Oh, don't you worry about that, Maki declared with a broad grin. I'll get it written in my sleep. The customer blinked in disbelief. You can't write a book while you're sleeping, he said. Yes, I can. There are these little sprites who will write it for me when I'm in bed. Oh, come now. Now you're just talking fairy tales. The customer chortled loudly. Shocked, the sprites stared up at Maki. Wait, one of them whispered. Does she? Added another. Suddenly Maki cast her gaze downward. You'll hand her the book for me, won't you? She whispered. You've known all along? The sprite's jaws hung agape. Of course I have, Maki murmured with a grin and chuckle. I don't know how to make chilled curry soba that tastes that good, so thank you. Because of you, my husband's restaurant has been able to go on. And when they saw that big smile on Maki's face, the sprites knew that all their efforts had been worth it. Well, I guess we got to help out then, Mario said. I'll take a bit of overtime, but we'll write your book for you, ma'am. I'm not sure I'd like the idea of revealing our recipes to the public, though, Salvatore murmured. And we'll have to put our hearts into the rest of the menu, too. Not just the chilled curry soba, Fabrizio added. Despite all their grumbling, though, the sprites couldn't keep their happiness from their faces. Alright, new one. Did you enjoy our tale of Dogen Hut's unexpected secret? Shake off your amazement because it's time for some new info. In Tama's story, in the 1400 time block... Oh, shit. I dropped my pen. That suit she's lugging around on her back sure looks heavy. Try taking a good look at her hauling that weight. What might happen? Happy hunting. See you next time. I know exactly that one. 1400... hauling... costume. I know exactly where that one is. I know exactly where that one is. But we're going to do the entire quiz, because otherwise we're not going to have enough time to do everything we want to do. The discounted price for the Miracle Stone, including currency. It's 30,000, right? What? Including currency? So what? Do I have to put... It's 30,000! It's 30,000, I swear it is. It could be 20,000. Maybe there's no space? No. I swear. Not even close? Yeah, no, I'm sure it's 30,000. Watch it be 35,000. Watch it be 35,000. I keep pressing the wrong button, too. It could be 35,000. It says including currency, though. I swear that... Buying the necklace. Sales almost over. Gets all his man get paid. Money clutch pod. Nickname shop by necklace. Shopkeeper out. 300,000. Pop up for sick. Oh, hold on. Let's skip. $30,000. It's 30,000. Miracle Stone. Oh. That's not the necklace. Shit. Miracle Stone? Soon, okay. So yeah, no, it's the Miracle Stone is the necklace. The bodies are happening. 10. Okay. Axe. $10,000. It's 10,000. I forgot Miracle Stone is what is the failed product. That's crazy. Wow, what a obscure question. What an obscure question to ask. That is crazy. I like it. I like it a lot. Oops. Not quite. I'm just putting in all the different iterations. But it is 10,000. No, 30,000 is for the necklace. Oh, you know what? He might have purchased 10. Hold on, he might have purchased 10. Not even close. Why am I not? What? It's gotta be 10,000. David, what am I doing wrong? The discounted price. Not 10,000? Apparently there's a discounted price. 5,000. Two for 10. Okay, yeah, now I got it. Junichi Yanagashita. Here we go. I was in France on a business at the time, staying in a cheap apartment on the banks of the Seine. Monsieur Yanagashita, you must pay those 10,000 euros at once. Yeah, that was how Marcel Portier, a general goods trader, greeted me when I opened my apartment door. It was the most unsophisticated bit of French I've heard by far in my time there along the Seine. Oh, well, you see, this is all rather sudden. 2 days earlier, I'd purchased some health products from Marcel. We'd agreed that I could pay the 10,000 euro bill at the month later. And now here he was, telling me I needed to pay up at once. Monsieur, if you please, 10,000 euros right now. Marcel, I'm sorry, but I don't have that money. I replied in my own halting French. We had a deal that I could pay up a month from now, didn't we? That's not what I want to hear, monsieur. What I want to hear from you is, Oi, Marcel, don't worry, I have it right away. I hadn't yet sold any of the health products I'd produced for Marcel. I was flat out of cash. I couldn't have paid up even if I wanted to. What in the world's going on? Why are you suddenly demanding that I pay up right now? Monsieur, I need that money, whatever it takes, by this evening. He pointed a finger at me. You absolutely must have it by this evening, otherwise you'll find yourself sinking to the bottom of the Strait of Dover. I'll be in touch. And with that, Marcel departed. Oh man, now what am I gonna do? Yeah, I gotcha. That bit of grumbling there was in Japanese. I don't have 100,000 euros anywhere. A reflection in the waters of the scene looked miserably distorted. Yanugi? I looked up. There's only one person who called me Yanugi, on account of not being able to pronounce my name. Isabelle? The woman my heart had once burned first stood in the doorway. Isabelle, what are you doing here? Rick, I'll be here in Paris for a while. I see, but what I don't know what voice I did, Yanagashita. I see, well, what a coincidence! You're as beautiful as ever, I see. And your hairstyle is the same as ever, too. The sight of a familiar face bolstered my spirits, at least somewhat. She may have firmly rejected my advances, but I still loved her all the same. I've been hearing a lot about you, Isabel told me. The businessman who hops all around the world. Oh, I'm just always living on the edge is all. And when you're doing business with the world, sometimes, even though you know it's dangerous, you need to leap off that edge. There you go, that's the place. Well, so there's this product that I simply had to recommend to you. Here. Isabel pulled a doll from her handbag and presented it to me. What's this? Isn't it cute? It's a mascot based on the Indonesian folk cult. Don't you think it'll be a huge hit in Japan? It had a bumpy green skin and bloodshot eyes. There are sharp claws on the ends of its lizard-like hands and feet. Not only was it not charming, quite frankly, it gave me the creeps. Look, I'm sorry, Isabel, but I don't think I need something like this. Why not? Why not, huh? No matter how I looked at it, it just wasn't a design that would sell in Japan. Go on, push on its back. Go on, push on its back. Huh? It's back. Give it a push. I did as instructed. The doll's arms and legs waggled almost apologetically. See, isn't it marvelous? Well, my brows knit as I tried not to frown in front of her, but she sensed my efforts and her expression turned sad. Oh, you don't like it, do you? How many of these dolls do you have? I asked, feeling something like pity. Around 3,000 or so. Wow, 3,000? Would you take them off my hands? Look, I'm sorry, but I really can't. But if there's some other opportunity comes along. I see, I guess I should have expected that, with a doll this creepy. Isabel turned her back to me, forlorn. Then she muttered softly, I've been thinking of throwing in an extra 10,000 euros if you took them off my hands, but... Oh? What was that just now? Whoa, hey, hold on, Isabel, hold on. I hurried around in front of her. Could you repeat what you just said, please? You said if I took them off your hands for you, I'd throw in 100,000 euros. Or 10,000 euros. That's it! I thrust my pointed finger triumphantly. With 10,000 euros coming in, I'd be able to pay what I owed Marcel. Okay, Isabel, because it's you, I'll happily take those 10,000 euros. Well, I mean, it's the dolls, not the 10,000 euros. Please give me those 10,000 euros. But the dolls and the 10,000 euros. Okay, I'll bring everything here. How about tonight? No, now, before tonight. I can't do that. Tonight is the soonest I can make it happen. Guess I don't have much of a choice. I'll just have to make Marcel wait a little longer. I remembered that last part so that Isabel could hear. So, alright, Isabel, tonight then. Thank you, Yanugi. And don't forget the 10,000 euros. Don't worry, I'll have it for you in cash. Isabel held out her hand. I really do appreciate this. I'll see you later tonight then. I shook her hand firmly. Likewise, bonsoir. Looking quite happy, Isabel departed. Ooh, looks like I got that 10,000 euro thing settled. I let out a breath I hadn't even realized I'd been holding. When evening came, Marcel returned. Do you have the money? No pleasantries, just right to dunning me. I decided not to point out his impertinence. Oh yes, absolutely, I replied, grinning as I gave him a thumbs up. Really, huh? You really are my best friend. Now hurry up and hand it over. With a bright smile, Marcel held out one hand. Well, I can't give it to you right this minute. Why not? Didn't you just tell me you had it a few seconds ago? Please, you'll just need to wait until tonight. The 10,000 euros are coming then. Maraid! Midday! Marcel snapped right in the face. Please, Marcel, surely you can wait a bit. We're best friends, right? Hear me out, that's all I ask. You're not my best friend, you're a liar. He who will steal an egg, who steal an ox. Look, Marcel, come down! It's you, take it easy. If you just take it easy and wait until tonight, I can give you the money, I promise. Or would you prefer I take that swim in the straight Dover right now instead of give you nothing? That put Marcel's railing to an end. At that, he finally agreed, but he insisted on waiting with me. And so we both waited for Isabel, there in a cheap apartment. I sat on the floor holding my knees, and Marcel followed suit. I suppose you must despise me this much, huh? He mumbled. He picked up a spoon that was lying on the floor near his feet and hurled it through an open window into the scene. It disappeared with a sad, lonely plunk. I can't blame you, he said, with what I have showed up out of the blue demanding that you pay up. Next, he tossed an alarm clock into the river. Then, with another plunk as before. I suppose I owe you a proper explanation, Yanakachita. Marcel was going to throw the TV remote next, but I reached out to stop him. Tell me, Marcel. So I've been saddled with some merchandise that's a real pain again. The light of a setting sun shone upon his face. I can now see the bags beneath his eyes. The man looked exhausted. They say that whoever owns this stuff is cursed. His eyes quivered with fear. They also say that curse stays with you until you can foist it off onto someone else, he continued. I had no idea what he was talking about. Why can't you just throw that stuff out? If you do that, the curse only becomes more powerful. Now he was trembling dramatically. Whatever he spooked him, he wasn't his usual self. That was for sure. What happened to you because of this curse so far? I asked. Well, for example, I am loath to recount here what Marcel told me next, but suffice to say it was horrifying. Oh my, that's awful! And so I marked these things down to whatever's practically a giveaway price just to be rid of the lot. But I haven't sold a single one, and the warehouse storage fees aren't exactly insignificant. Marcel shook his head from side to side, his expression positively haggard. So I thought maybe there was some fool someplace I could push the inventory off onto, just to give it away. If I threw the 10,000 euros to go with it, someone had to be dumb enough to take it, I figured. I see, so that's why you need the money so urgently then. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think I know what's going on. At last I understood. But it's alright now. A little while ago, one of my colleagues calls to say they found just the right sucker. That's good to hear. Yeah, so I need to go with them to hand over the money along with the product inventory. I see. Your lifesaver, Yanagashita. Merci beaucoup. No, Daring Marcel. Dots. Huh? What? What was that? Come again now? But man, it's hard to believe someone was dumb enough to actually want this stuff, even with 10,000 euros thrown in, Marcel said. He let out a little chuckle. Hold on a sec. Marcel, can I ask you something real quick? What is it? This colleague you mentioned, the one who found your sucker. It's not a woman named Isabel, is it? Oh, you know her. Yeah, Isabel's great. Get the real knack for finding marks. She's quite the lady. I did the mental math. I give 10,000 euros to Marcel. Marcel gives that 10,000 euros to Isabel, along with the cursed merchandise. Isabel gives me 10,000 euros on the dolls. I give the 10,000 euros to Marcel. Marcel, these cursed goods, do they happen to be creepy green dolls? Oui, monsieur. He flashed a broad-toothy grin. I slapped myself on the forehead good and hard. GG. Did you enjoy our tale of Yanagashita's bittersweet younger days? If you slap yourself on the forehead along with him, we got some new information for you. In Kano's story, in the 1500 time block, there's a scene where Kano and Stanley are running. Maybe try sticking around for a bit. Take a good close look and we'll see you again next time. Kano... 1500... Kano and Stanley running. Alright, cool. Good old Yanagashita getting scammed right off the bat. Good job, buddy. Fill in the blank. You're the one making the blank argument here. What? You're the one making the blank argument here. Who says that? Big? I don't know who says this. Who says this? This is I? Oh. Yeah, some of these are definitely obscure. Ouch. There's 5 lines? Oh, you're right, you're right. Maybe weird. Is it I before E? Hold on. No, that doesn't look right. Oh, you know what? I think I know where this is. Hold on. I think I know where this is. If it is I don't think it's with Osawa. I think this is with Minorikawa. No, I think this is... I think this is Minorikawa and I. But the weird sound. Get up here, okay. Know your business. There's a listening device. Excuse me, because do something about this man. Just wavered. She got a lot of nerve. Go play detective somewhere else. Reporter. Did someone usurp about you? Sir, how dare you? Yeah, I know. I makes the most sense in this. And then this has to be an Osawa one. David probably can chime in and tell us if we're right or wrong. Eviction of duties, sir, please. Stuff don't you tell missions? Do you have something to hide? Alright, alright. Sir, please, just your recites to the story. And Osawa loses his mind. So it's not there. The arguments. I don't know where else it could be, though. I need to focus on finishing the article. I mean, it definitely is probably an Osawa story. Arguments. It's got to be when those two are talking. Maybe it's right here. Maybe it's something right here. Some sort of argument. I'm just trying to see. Just tell me. Are we in love with Tanaka? Those threatening emails. What do you know about it? Don't apologize. Not the victim here. So there's some sort of arguments. Tanaka is subjected. Don't know it. Tell the truth. See, they have an idea what it might be. Not good getting that password. Tomi, their sister is going canon. I'll show the electronic lock. You get another plan. Gosh, my eyes are like going blurry. It's father. Start over. Argument. I don't remember these. Yeah, my brain hurts a ton. I don't want to look these up. I really don't. Who else could this be? Argument, argument, argument. What if it's this guy? What if it's Katayama? Could be Katayama. Let's ascend the press. What the hell are you? Common decency. It's not going as well, but that just makes no sense. I don't think it's Tanaka. There's not really sort of argument. Gosh, this orange text hurts my head too. It's ridiculous. Just get some more time. Just get to the done till you're done. Chrome's teeth. Save times are not working. 10 minutes 7 seconds. Yeah, you're the one. Thank you, Cassie. I appreciate it. You're the one making the blank argument here. What if it's when he's interviewing Orai? Whatever his name is. What if this is when he was interviewing Orai? Version on dark mode? I mean, true. Very, very true. What if it's that? Because they have that argument, remember? Kind of my guy, thank you. Wandering Angels. Let's rolls. Who been set down? Court. Have no right to judge my acting troupe. Search acting troupe though. How dare you? Wait. How dare you? It's seeming like it's Ori. She's been on name now. Just get out. Consumer, please come down. Didn't mention that. Failing. Rudest amateur. Listen to nothing to the feeder. Begin that. Smart inwardly. Take this to Osawa. Let's tell her story for you. All right, can share the details. Could be fine. Gosh. It's not Ori. Who is it? Who could be the person? You're the one making the blank argument here. Who's making an argument? At this point, I'm just trying to put stuff that fits. I know, right? Maybe ridiculous? I'm thinking ridiculous.
行きましょう。第4問。違った。
You literally have notes on this? So you know it's I, right? At this point, we could safely say it's probably I. Pointless.
残念。そう答えたか。
I don't know when I would say this though. Can I get a lifeline from David, please? A lifeline from David. Is this I? Man, I don't... It's so, like, I'm trying my best not to, like, look anything up, too. I thought we already put in stupid, but we could try stupid again. Yeah, we already said that. Feeble. Do we lifeline it? Do we lifeline it? Do I look up who it at least is referring to? You're extremely close. Okay, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. Dull. Can we do a synonym? A synonym for what word? You're the one making the... You're the one making the bland... Tried using the internet? Yeah, no. Utmost. Utmost? That's not a synonym for utmost. Gosh, utmost is a utmost urgency. Utmost. Unless you're telling me the answer is utmost. Which doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna put it in anyway.
残念。
Uttermost. Crazy. Wait, why did we not try crazy? No, what? Greatest?
おっとっと。
Oh. Is it just big?
行きましょう。第4問。
Either large or big.
そう答えたか。
I feel like I'm dumb.
違った。
Greatest. Maybe it's just great?
おっとっと。
Oh my gosh, my brain. Why can't I think of the definition of uttermost, too? Extreme.
正解。
Interesting. Extreme. Who says this? Is it I? The Kinder Partners? What? I'm sorry. What? Excuse me, do you have a moment? Tape recorder in hand, Chucky called out to a pair of young girls who were standing by the statue of Hachiko. Each girl carried a lollipop half the size of her face. What did you think about Shibuya? The girls looked at one another. Do you not understand the question? Chucky pressed. The children slowly looked at their candy. Not really, one of them said at last. Chucky was taken aback by the girls' grown-up tone. Yeah. The girls nodded at one another, their faces disapproving. Huh? Chucky was confused. What's going on? Do we know you, lady? Huh? See, this is why people keep saying that adults nowadays have no common sense. Yeah, ease off with the small talk. It's the first time we've ever even met, after all. Did your mom teach you any manners? Chucky took a step backward and wrapped her arms around herself as the children stared at her coldly. I'm sorry to have said you. That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Being treated like a child by small children made Chucky blush bright red from embarrassment. No worries, David. Thank you so much for your help, though. I appreciate it. Talk to you later. Their arrogant reproach left her too flustered to fully process the situation. So what's up? One of the girls went on. Excuse me? Chucky said warily. You're asking about Shibuya. Yes, of course. I'm recoiling some more under the children's gaze. Chucky chose her words very carefully. So, what do you two think about the city of Shibuya? Perhaps. The pair quickly lowered their eyes, their expressions forlorn. It used to be so nice way back when. Way back? Just when was way back for these two? Nowadays, Shibuya's gotten all dead quiet. Yeah, it used to be back in the day you could just stand around here and see something interesting go down, day in and day out. Chucky was utterly dumbfounded by the girl's ostensible wordliness. She listened in fascination as they continued. Yeah, but even that was maybe something that sort of hinged on your mood. I hear you. Maybe that's just our mindset has changed, that's all. So I'm guessing you've got tests coming up? Yeah, my mom will just not shut up about nagging me to study. I'm about to start practicing for interviews myself. How old are these girls? Oh, it's too early for that. Besides, if anyone messes up the real thing, it's the parent. At some point, Chucky had become a bystander to the girls searing back and forth. Man, I wish I had more freedom to do stuff. I started taking piano lessons to help with the enrollment test too. Guess I never wind up rich if you don't go all out. I hate money. Rich people always have these awful sucking-in faces. Yeah, a while back I saw father and son buying an entire box of trading cards. They both looked hideous. Yikes. It's kind of a sad story though. The kid looked like he really wanted something else instead. That's the impression I got anyway. And as usual, the parent was completely oblivious. Yeah, and so the kid had to put on this fake smile of appreciation and everything. I know how that goes. Chucky felt increasingly inclined to leave, but she wasn't sure how to do so gracefully. Parents these days, she reflected, were foisted off on an awful lot of things onto their children. They seemed completely ignorant of how much a burden was too much. And so she stood vacillating. The conversation continued. But yeah, when our kindergarten teacher plays the organ, there's some real soul to it. It's so moving. Oh, I love her organ playing. But even if she doesn't have anything to do with test prep, you need to learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah, maybe I ought to change up my way of life. Jackie began to feel ashamed of herself, ashamed that she'd been so simple in her thinking as to expect the interview to be easy. These kids were really having a tough time of things. Feeling pathetic for her own shallow short-sightedness, Jackie sank down to the pavement. Whoa, hey lady, what's the matter? One of the girls asked. Jackie hung her head. You got a tummy ache? Want some of this? The other girl held out her lollipop. No, it's not that. Jackie was only barely managing to contain her tears. Are you worried that this interview is not going well? You shouldn't let it get to you. It's not the end of the world or anything. The cheer on the girls' faces brought Jackie a smile flush of consolation. Yeah, keep your chin up. We can keep going with the interview. We can talk about whatever. There's this place to grab food from a lot where my mom doesn't know about. Maybe we could talk there. They got these super tasty agar jelly strips. Yeah, my mom tells me I shouldn't spend too much on snacks, but you gotta sneak out a little of that into your routine. The two girls gently patted Jackie atop the head. She could tell it just wasn't going to be her day. What the hell happened here? Did you enjoy our tale of these precious preschoolers? None of us can go back to our childhood, but we can give you some good hints. In Achi's story in the 1500 time block, Achi and Hitomi are flagged down by Minorikawa. Take a close look after that. This path leads to a bad ending, so the clue might be a tough spot. Gotcha. Now I know about this one. Achi. 1500. Minorikawa. Bad end. What happened? Not much. We learned about Yanagashita being scammed. How's it going, Caitlin? Welcome to the stream. We're taking a quiz right now. What happened to Etz? He's alive. He just got scammed and now has bad luck for probably the rest of his life.
さあ第5問
Question 5. Hitomi's Osawa's blood type. I know that's Bombay. I know that's Bombay.
お見事
Yeah. Miku Morita. A straight right came her way just as she let down her guard. The blow caught her in the chin, and for an instant she saw white. And she was driven back against the mesh cage, a knee strike hurtled toward her. She managed to change positions just in time to dodge, then close the distance with her opponent. Man, she's tough, Miku thought to herself. Bride's openweight champion, Crybaby Mizuho, was a dyed-in-the-wool, tried-and-true fighter. Crybaby Mizuho. That's weird. One of Miku's eyelids felt like it was badly swollen. She was having a hard time seeing. Mizuho's hardy frame was little more than a blur, and the punch Miku had just taken had left her distinctly unsteady. What if this other woman rushed and tackled her? No doubt Miku would wind up down on the mat, where she'd been pummeled over and over. Or perhaps her opponent would instead make use of her expert footwork to deal out some more precision strikes. With the hurt Miku had already taken, dealing with that would be difficult as well. Miku was a proverbial corner. Oh, how she wanted to just drive a fist right into Mizuho's big mouth. What are you gonna do, Miku? Did you come this far just to lose? Hey, Saga, how's it going? Enjoy Minecraft. Mizuho closed the gap. Her 180cm tall, 80kg frame came charging in. A thin smile showed on her doughy face. Miku had first seen Mizuho fight 1 year earlier. Her face radiated weakness, and she cried when she got hit. Hence her nickname, Crybaby Mizuho. But through her tears, Mizuho fought desperately, managing in the end to pull off a joint lock that won her the match. The crowd went absolutely wild at the Crybaby fighter's underdog victory, but Miku was not convinced by Mizuho's performance. Mizuho was assuredly much stronger than she seemed. She'd taken karate lessons at a local dojo up through middle school. She'd been on her high school and tramal wrestling team, and later she had taken up jiu-jitsu. There was no way a woman like her that could be such a crybaby. She'd been fighting at half her potential in order to make things more fun for the audience. Miku knew that, since the matches at Bride were part of the spectacle, making things fun for the customers was important. Even so, she wanted to see the champion fight at her full strength, and so she fought her way up the ladder to get that chance. After winning the match that put her in position for a shot at the title, Miku had grabbed the microphone and shouted to both Mizuho and the crowd. Mizuho, next time you're fighting me, and we're fighting for real! Afterwards, the manager had been furious. By saying fighting for real, he made it sound like the other matches here at Bride's are all fixed. It was true that the matches were indeed for real, with no outcome decided ahead of time, but Mizuho's Cryberry persona was just an act, even if it was an entertaining one, and she spent the first part of each of her fights putting out a lot of fake tears. Miku scowled at the manager. I don't want to fight Crybaby Mizuho, I want to fight Mizuho. I want a fight that's full force from the get-go. You dumbass, roared the manager. Take one look at her. Among the slender frame fighters on Bride's roster, Mizuho stood out as a bulging and burly. Not even by the most charitable standards in the world could her face be called pretty. Mizuho was on the roster in the first place because of her Cryberry character. If she gave that up, she'd be giving up her position to Bride. Miku fell silent. Was getting a legit fight out of Mizuho impossible then? She fretted anxiously about it until the title match finally came. Once the fight started, though, the other woman in the octagon was no crybaby. Mizuho unleashed a mighty punch the instant the gong sounded. The blow hit Miku like nothing she felt before. The impact shocked her even though through her guard. Mizuho then shot forward like a rocket, tackling Miku against the cage. Miku clung to her tightly to avoid being taken to the mat. Mizuho whispered into her ear, "You wanted a real fight? Challenge accepted." Mizuho released her, then retreated to the center of the octagonal ring. Then she held out one hand, gesturing as if to say, "Bring it on." A confused uproar rose from the crowd. This wasn't how things usually went. Miku could feel every cell in her body jumping for joy. Yeah! She rushed at Mizuho with all her might. But the match quickly devolved into a rather one-sided affair. Soon Miku was struggling just to avoid getting KO'd too quickly. Her opponent was strong, stronger than she'd imagined. Mizuho grinned as she charged forward. Miku was out of options. Was the bigger woman coming in for a tackle? As soon as Miku prepared to defend against a tackle, a wide hook came her way instead. She barely managed to deflect it. Then Mizuho rooted her feet and launched into a flurry of punches. Miku was astounded by the fury of the attack. The champion threw punch after punch without bothering to guard herself. Finally, Miku was able to follow up with a single counterpunch of her own. She landed a clean hit right on the bridge of Mizuho's nose. A stream of blood poured out from one nostril. With a gleeful grin, Mizuho struck out her tongue and lapped out her own blood. Then she set her feet once more and threw another punch. The powerful blow clipped Miku in the temple and her head reeled. Enraged, Miku retaliated with a punch of her own. Neither of the two budged as they traded blows. Before long, amidst the cheers, Miku and Mizuho were merely pummeling each other. There was no skill, no technique, just two bulls butting heads. Miku's molars clattered, her lungs felt like they might burst. She was at her body's limit. Just a little longer. It was hopeless, she knew that, but she had to hang in there. Just one more punch, she told herself again and again, just one more punch. Only halfway conscious, she continued battering back at her opponent. There was an especially loud cheer from the crowd, and then suddenly someone grabbed Miku from behind. Stop! Stop! It was the referee. Mizuho was sprawled out at Miku's feet. Victory by knockout with a right hook! Even after the ref said it, Miku could scarcely believe what had happened. She stood there in a daze for a while, and then Mizuho came stumbling over to her. "You got me," she said, fair and square. As soon as she saw the look of gratitude and respect in Mizuho's face, tears started streaming down Miku's cheeks. She tried to hold them back, but they just kept coming. "Hey now, only one of us gets to be the crybaby," Mizuho said, her voice husky with emotion. Tears had welled up in her eyes too. The two clung to one another, weeping. "I'm so glad I was able to get a real match in the end," Mizuho whispered into Miku's ear. For several months after that, Miku defended her title. While she was warming up backstage one day, the manager came in carrying a cardboard box. "Baggage for you, Miku." The sender was Mizuho. The box was packed full of oranges. Mizuho would quit the day after their title match. Evidently, she'd gone home and taken over her family's farm. Miku peeled the skin off one, pulled off a section, and ate it. The vibrant, striking, and bittersweet taste, so very reminiscent of their fight, filled her mouth like a little explosion. Aww. Wait, what? There we go. I was like, wait, that Miku's not a preschooler? My life would have been a lie. Because she's cute. She's super cute. Did you enjoy our tale of femme fatales forging a friendship through fighting? Well then put up your dukes because we got some new info for you. In Minorikawa's story, in the 1600 time block, Minorikawa takes a taxi to Heaven Publishing. He passes some strange writing on the road. Maybe take a closer look. Keep your eyes peeled. Okay. Mino. 1600 taxi past writing. Interesting. See, Miku is cute and adorable. Look at her. She's absolutely adorable. She's a gem. Protect Miku. Next question. Yanagi Shida is managing director of this company. Shit. What is this company called? I don't know what his company's called. I don't remember. It's burning. There's Burning Hammer. But I don't remember his company's name. No, it's not Heaven Publishing. That's Toyama. This is the Burning Hammer. I think I know where to go to find it, but like, have we gone this entire game without really recalling what it's called? What Yanagishida's company's called? No, 4-Star General is the magazine. This is Yanagishida, remember? It has nothing to do with Minorikawa. This has nothing to do with Minorikawa. Yeah, it's Yanagishida. There's Tama.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's got to be said right here. Tamada Cutie. Shake away, no time, burn, burn, burn. Reeks of a scam. Ghoster, Burning Hammer. So yeah, there's Burning Hammer, but Nokane building, but that's not what it's called. What is it? The Burning Hammer says the Nokane building. I'm trying to see. Burning Hammer. It's got to be somewhere here, right? This is the because it's this company, Chiri, Tamaguyaki, Tama. So thirsty, zipper, we drink, dull pain, bottle of straw, does protein. I don't. It can't be just called Burning Hammer. Right there. Sister products. Okay. Regrets. No. Just kind of just keep going through this because it's got to say at some point, right? Bottoms up. She's dying. Might work. What the heck? It's Firecracker. Burning Hammer. I don't think it's just called Burning Hammer. It's the managing firm. What is the managing firm? America. 100 bottles. Ripped off. Minoru Murakawa is sighing. Chewy's drop. No freaking way. Price per absurd. Okay. What's the point? Put that scissors with the suits of rental. Okay. Okay, needed that. Wanted how. Somehow manage. Okay, Yamato Health Foods Co. There we go. Found it. Let me just make sure. I'm gonna just type. I'm just gonna write this down. We would have never remembered this. Never would have remembered that. Wow, I can't believe we found it. Can't believe we found this. Let's just, I think we're gonna just type in the entire thing. See what that goes. Question 6. Yeah. Oops. Yamato Health. I know, David was right. There you go. That's so obscure. That's crazy. Susumu Nishikawa versus Yoji Kiryu. The day that Achi came back to SOS. That day when, for the first time in a long while, SOS became whole again. Let's go back 2 weeks before that fated reunion. The gang was in the midst of a minor quarrel. We have to set a proper example. The pool hall fell silent at Kiryu's aggravated outburst. Provoking the new second command was a fine way to wind up victim to the guillotine, and so the other gang members remained tight-lipped, warily looking on. Come on, Susumu, you know I'm right. Susumu didn't flinch into Kiryu's gaze. It's an example of what? All you want to do is get around it because you feel like it. Look, just step aside. I got business with that little punk behind you. Behind Susumu was a skinny teenager, barely more than a boy. He wore a look of abject terror, like a rabbit caught in the lion's gaze. What exactly is so fun about finding different excuses to terrorize your friends? Susumu asked. Kiryu snickered mockingly, then grinned. Good question. Guess it's cool messing with the guys who joined up with SOS after I did. The conflict, as usual, had started more or less over nothing. Each night, the members of SOS gathered at their pool hall in Urawa, Harajuku.
There was no set meetup time or anything like that. Around the time the place was teeming with other gang members, Kiryu would turn up. Susumu generally appeared shortly afterward. But today the last person to show up had been the kid Susumu was currently shielding. As the young fellow quietly took a seat, Kiryu had suddenly blown his top. "The hell you think you're doing?" The kid froze with fear at the ferocious shout, but his cringing demeanor only poured more fuel into the fire. "Whoever shows up last has got to apologize, you know?" As Kiryu reached for his favorite makeshift wooden cudgel, Susumu had interposed himself. "Susumu, are you seriously trying to tell me that SOS doesn't have a proper pecking order?" "That's not what I'm saying." Susumu continued to stare Kiryu down. "Well, what's the matter? You don't understand anything anyway." Kiryu suddenly rolled up his right sleeve, then sat down and set his elbow on the table, his right hand raised and open like a claw. "Want to settle this with a show of strength?" A glimmer of challenge shone in Kiryu's eyes. "You're on." Susumu sat down opposite him. Planting his own elbow on the table, he reached across and clasped hands with Kiryu. Kiryu squeezed back as if threatening to crush Susumu's palm with his fingers. "If I win," he said, "you let me do what I want." Someone stepped out of the crowd to act as referee. It was one of Kiryu's cronies. At once, the bar was gripped with excitement as if championship game were on the line. "Waste that punk, Susumu! Come on, Susumu, you can do it!" The leader had a strong showing of support from the crowd. "You got this, Kiryu!" But the upstart's backing section wasn't exactly small either. "Looks like we got him all worked up," Kiryu said. He picked up an empty beer bottle with his free hand and smashed it against the edge of the table. Shards of broken glass littered the tabletop between their arms. "This ought to make things more interesting." "Yeah, bet it will." The referee leaned in, giving the pair tightly clasped hands a quick tap. "Ready and go!" The competitor's biceps bulged. Both men started to shudder visibly, their arms seemingly locked in place, neither giving way. Kiryu flashed a broad, leering grin, and vein popped out against his temple. "Man, you really are a wuss. You ain't leader material." "You think so, huh?" Susumu answered through gritted teeth. "If we don't keep him on a tight leash, SOS will fall apart once it's finally gotten big enough." Kiryu grunted as he started to bend Susumu's arm downward. "You think or something? Whoever said anything about SOS getting bigger?" Susumu replied. He struggled to force his arm back up. The walls echoed with the sound of people cheering Susumu's name. Bolstered by their support, he mustered up his last reserve of strength, but still his arm would not move. Kiryu's grip held him like a vice. "That's the best you could do, some leader you are." Then Kiryu put all of his strength into his arm. Susumu's knuckles thudded against the table. Then shards of glass stabbed into the back of his hand. "Yah!" Kiryu let out a triumphant cry of victory. Cradling his bloodied hand, Susumu grimaced back at him. "Well, that settles it fair and square. Now I'm gonna teach that kid a lesson." Once more, Kiryu reached for his cudgel. The young fellow tried to bolt away. "Stop right there," Susumu called after him. "Haha, you finally come around then, Susumu?" Kiryu asked. He twirled a piece of wood around his saunter, and as he sauntered slowly toward his prey. "You stop right there too, Kiryu," Susumu added. Kiryu paused in his tracks. "Hey, what gives?" The kid tilted his head questioningly. "Apologize to Kiryu," Susumu said. The youngster blinked in disbelief. "I said apologize," Susumu repeated. Yeah, okay." The kid bowed his head deeply. "I'm sorry, Kiryu." "That should settle things, right, Kiryu?" Kiryu went red in the face. "What the hell, man? Are you kidding me?" Enraged, he stepped forward to swing his club at the kid. "I told you to stop." Susumu drove his bloodied fist right into Kiryu's face. "There," he snapped as Kiryu staggered backwards. "I think that's enough violence for one day." The look on his face was nothing short of blood-curdling. "If that's still not enough for you, next we can settle things with our fists." Once again, he and Kiryu were staring daggers at each other. With a click of his tongue, Kiryu was the first to look away. "All right, I'll back off for today." Tossing aside his club, he stomped out of the bar. "So, thank you so much," murmured the kid apologetically. His gaze was fixed on Susumu's hand. Even as he told the kid not to worry about it, Susumu could feel doubt welling up like a storm inside him. Kiryu had said for today. At some point, the two of them really were going to wind up coming to blows. As Susumu couldn't lose that fight. No matter how tough Kiryu was, Susumu wasn't going to let him become leader of the gang. Especially not considering who it was he'd put Susumu in that position in the first place. With a newfound determination, he clenched his injured fist even as the blood continued to stream down. Did you enjoy our tale of a heated showdown between two rivals? Well then, get ready for some fancy footwork because here comes some sweet new story info. In Minorikawa's story, in the 1200 time block, the journalist flags down the man from the knick-knack shop as he's passing on his bicycle. Try waiting until after the background slips away and see what happens. Alright, we got another Mina one. 12 o'clock. Knick-knack flagging. Alright, we got a few more left, and then once we're done with these, we'll end off the stream. And then I'm going to get some food, and then we'll do some stuff. The 22nd performance by the field troop, The Wandering Angels. Fuck, I should know this. I should know this. Oh boy.
The 22nd one. Not the first or anything. The 22nd one. Well, I know where to look. It's just... Well, here's the thing. If we go to Orai, I think that's the best way to find this. Because all I need to do is... I should know this. I should know this too. It's just a matter of looking for the blue. See, the blue wandering angels. Suzuka... Shinosuke Orai, Murakawa, Jolt of Tension. Yeah, I know, it's super specific. I'm so glad that I'm sticking to it though, where I'm not looking things up. This is in one of the blue ones. I know it. I know that. I know, same. This is fun, though. I really like this. Okay, so this has to be earlier. No, this is an Achi story. This is Achi's story. Because we have to hide in the storeroom, remember? And then the two people move out. So that was number 4. Flyers. Au revoir. I knew it. I knew it was there. Au revoir. Leave it to me to figure that shit out. Let's go. Leave it to me to figure it out. Yo, this is so much fun. Like, I'm sorry for those people who are like, this is boring, you're looking up the same things over and over. But like, this is so interesting. Question 7. Oh. I'm actually showing you guys also where to find them, which is good. Extreme one I couldn't figure out. I don't know where that came from. Shinosuke Orai. If I had to compare it to something, it would be gum stuck to the bottom of a shoe. I, Shinosuke Orai, first came across the impulse when I was young. It's good that you got to see this when you were still little, my parents said to me. We had gone to see one of Shakespeare's 4 great tragedies, King Lear. The material was a bit difficult for me at my age. Even so, the dazzling sets, the sublime music, and the true-to-life acting struck me to the very core. How amazing it all was! To think that something like this existed in the world. It was a setting I wanted to hurl myself into. I wanted to move others with the same impulse that had moved me. From then on, these thoughts were never far from my mind. And then when I was in 2nd grade, I made my debut as a stage director. When the school was deciding to program for the arts festival, I eagerly proposed King Lear. The rest of my class was, of course, rather flabbergasted, but as no one other suggestions were put forth, Lear was chosen. I raised my hand to volunteer as director. Since the rest of the class was unsure what a director even was, no one raised any objections. It was my directorial debut. I poured my heart and soul into it. Little did I realize that I had started down a road of hardship. We had 10 days for rehearsal before the opening. Why don't you know your lines? I told you that you had to have them memorized by today. Sorry, I forgot. You forgot? You think that's going to cut it? Excuse me. I lashed out at a classmate who had yet to again dropped his lines when we were already well into the rehearsal. How someone could fail to remember 3 measly lines was beyond me. Thinking back now, I have encountered an awful lot of actors over the years who simply refuse to listen to what their director tells them. What makes them so reluctant to faithfully follow directions? Are you really okay with the prospect of flubbing your lines during the actual performance? You could say that yourself, I'm busy. The only thing you're busy with is TV and games. The class suddenly fell silent. I leaned back, sneering at them. A few of the girls began whispering to one another. Look at him acting all high and mighty when he's not even class rep. Yeah, he's not a teacher. You can't go around telling everyone what to do. Everyone hates the director. I learned that from the television programs I watched and learned much more about drama. The director would pelt the actors and backstage crew with vitriol, toss out absurd instructions without compunction, and even hurl ashtrays across the stage. It was a job to perform without mercy.
Directors don't lash out because they're bad people, mind you, but you have to be something of an ogre in order to assure that both you and the audience are satisfied when the curtain falls, and to attain the sense of accomplishment that comes from true artistic achievement. Enough of the yammering. In my rage, I searched around for an ashtray. They don't keep those in elementary school classrooms, however, so I instead grabbed it and hurled the nearest pencil case. It was only natural for a born director to behave with such intensity. No sooner had I thrown the case, however, that my homeroom teacher snatched me by the scruff of my neck. Before long, I was in the staff room, getting a lecture crammed down my throat. Then I made it to the return to the classroom and apologized to everyone. Still, I had not lost my passion for a successful production of King Lear. I would not be disheartened by such a minor setback. At rehearsal after school the following day, the teacher addressed us. In order to take some of the burden off young Mr. Orai here, everyone will direct the production together. Yes, ma'am, the class replied at once. It was beyond absurd. Naturally, I was vehemently opposed to the idea. Democracy had no place in the world of art. The enjoyment comes from a class of individuals who excel in their given roles, each refusing to compromise one iota. But the teacher would not have none of it. It's all well and good to take this seriously, but we don't want a repeat of what happened yesterday. Let's all be friends, alright? Let's be friends? Did she think that fine art could be created by being friends? I could only grimace at such a laughable misconception. And so began our newly rehearsed system. We would practice a scene, and then everyone would offer their opinions about it. You need to look at the person you're speaking to, I railed angrily. Where you look is important. Others chimed in from all around. Oh, what does it matter where you look? What if we tried reciting our lines while jumping? Say, I'm playing a tree. Can I have some dialogue too? I'm trying to figure out if it needs more yikes or more ta-da. Nobody could tell at this point whose instructions they should follow. From the very outset, it was chaos. Everyone just said whatever they wanted. There's no way I'm holding hands with a boy. This costume looks dumb. How about something more like superhero-y? Give me a new part. I should play the lead. Taste the wrath of the mighty Cornwall Slash. Boom. Stop all the rambling. Stick to the script. My anger finally boiled over. We're all supposed to offer our opinions though, right? Yeah, right. Quit your belly aching. You're such a belly acher. Belly acher, belly acher, belly acher. This mad whirlwind, which no one in their right mind would call rehearsal, continued for days. A whole week passed. The last once everyone had finally realized that the new approach was getting us nowhere, I was reinstated as the play's sole director. There wasn't much time left before the main event. Never before had I thrown so much gusto into the craft. What's with that monotone? You need to put more feeling into it. You're not reading from a textbook. I was not one to go easy on my actors. But I'm shy. No excuses. You're not bringing enough realism to the parts. You need to give it more oomph. Okay, fine, I'll try. Thanks to my fierce directing, the others had improved bit by bit. With just a little more patience, a truly grand sense of accomplishment could be ours. At long last, I was sensing a real response to my work. And then it all changed. The boy who was playing the back half of the horse suddenly took down his pants. His underwear came down next. Such passion! Such gusto for the craft! I'm feeling... Why the fuck did you just moon everybody? What? Now we see your dick. Why? Then he squatted down on the... Is he just taking a shit in the middle of the play? Then he squatted down on the spot. His brows creased at the strain of effort. He was really doing this. What up, Nova? The entire class moved to an uproar at this sudden development. These are second graders. Why is a second grader shitting on the play? Girls ran away, boys broke out laughing. The teacher rested unthinkingly to cup both hands on the young fellow's backside, and I just stood there, dumbstruck. Holy crap! Once everything had finally calmed down, I went to talk to him. I like how he's also the back half of a horse. What are you thinking? I demanded. You said that you wanted more realism, so I figured the horse should take a dump. It's so good. That's realism. I had no words. Wow, that sure counts as real, alright, someone called out. The class erupted in raucous laughter. The energy drained from me in an instant, and I collapsed to the floor. Real. Was that what real meant on the stage? I couldn't deny that taking a dump qualified from a certain perspective. The bowel movement itself had definitely been genuine. It had been live. It gave a certain ambience.
That was a live performance. The guy took a shit in front of everybody. Live. Was that wrong? It had been the kind of realism I'd been after. I'd been hoping for something else, for a sense of tension that went beyond mere fabrication, that expressed the clashing of life's various emotions. In my confusion, I clutched my head. Was this how my art was to fall apart? You stupid amateur. Before I knew it, I had blown my top, launching into a wild rant. I don't recall what happened next. I didn't recover right away, and wound up missing school for a while. The school arts festival went on without me. I heard it was well received. What is it? What is art? What is drama? What is man? What is the world? Whenever I try to ask and answer these questions, I always think back to that experience back when I was young. If I had to compare it to something, it would be gum stuck to the bottom of a shoe. No, an AM radio broadcast washed out with static. No, a cut of meat, but that's been steamed for too long. No, perhaps more like a sodden doormat. No, maybe it's like, yes, it's something like a love letter, written in the dead of night. Alive shit. Did you enjoy our tale of artistic agony? Well, if you're serious about the craft, well, I've got some information for you. In Kano's story, in the 1200 time block, Kano and Sasayama chase after the kidnapper. Try waiting on the scene for a while and see what happens. Kano 1200 kidnapper chase. Did he for the actual? No, he did for the actual show. That was a live performance. That's why they said it was live. Also, Nova, I hope you're doing well today. Question 8. Miri needs to be recorded to prevent this. Outbreak. Okay, what's the correct word for this? Infection. Pandemic? Is this pandemic? Yep, pandemic. No, it's pandemic. It's like the coronavirus right now. Chiriko Usugi. Chiri! There are 2 sheets of paperwork here. They're printouts of material found on some underground internet site. The contents are classified information from Akoshi Pharmaceutical Co. Ltd. In all likelihood, they were leaked from a PC that had been infected with some kind of spyware. Herein are the full details of the dreadful contents of those pages. Analysis results of Chiriko Usugi, Akoshi Pharmaceutical Co. Ltd. Research and Development Division. Top secret, handle with care. Chiri went on to work for Akoshi Pharmaceutical? What? Findings. It had been confirmed that a previously unknown enzyme is being produced within the body of Chiriko Usugi, hereafter the subject. Enzyme had been named hypersustanin chirase after the subject. Effects. The main function of hypersustanin chirase as the digestion is the digestion and breakdown of triglycerides. When compared to the enzyme lipaps, which possesses the same functions, hypersustanin chirase is capable of breaking down fats far more efficiently and without a stimulation of exercise, and is effective in preventing excess fat accumulation within the body. However, once the subject's body fat percentage drops below 40%, her body no longer secretes the enzyme. The trigger for this change is unknown. 3. Potential business plan. Market the enzyme as a diet food product or medicine. Especially when administered under strict medical protocols, the enzyme should be effective in markedly reducing body fat without need for surgery. Remarks. Plan 24-hour observation of the subject for a 10-year period underway. The reason that hypersustanin chirase is no longer secreted after body fat drops below 40% to be discerned as soon as possible. From this paperwork, it is evident that one of Japan's leading pharmaceutical companies is carrying out surveillance of private individuals in secret. Is this constitutional? The contents of the second page are even more shocking. Chiriko Usugi Behavioral Inducement Proposal, Akoshi Pharmaceutical Co. Ltd., Research and Development Division, Top Secret, Handle with Care. General Overview. Chiriko Usugi, hereafter the subject, is to have her dietary and exercise habits engineered. Goal, maintain the subject's body weight above 40% body fat. Reasoning. According to recent measurements, the subject's body weight is trending downward. The cause of this trend has been established as the subject scoring attention to her own diet. It has also been confirmed that the subject has taken massive doses of the dietary supplement Burning Hammer. This could lead to substantial delays in research into hypersustanin chirase. Methods. So Chiri is getting skinnier and they want her to be fatter. Okay. Methods. Further discussion is required to assess ongoing behavioral adjustment methods, but the following have been approved on a temporary basis. In addition, other methods, once deemed effective, should be employed without delay. There is no upper limit to our expense. Given the urgent nature of the situation, progress reports shall be issued directly to the project supervisor. X. Entice confectionery store operator by 5-star Pastissier to open shop in Subject's neighborhood, Tamagaya. Sponsor food products with excessive amounts of fat and sugar in the guise of product samples. Provide financial support for or open additional franchises of restaurants touting Eat X servings and your meal is free. Host an eating contest. For our remarks. As a full assessment of hypersustenance rice has yet to be completed, any hindrances to further research must be eliminated. We have also received reports that competing companies are aware of the subject's unique characteristics. Given the 10 years our company has already spent on the discovery of the subject and research into her unique physiology, the subject must be prevented from weight loss by any means necessary. We must attain a monopoly on hypersustenance rice. These are the contents of the 2 pages. Perhaps it's not mere happenstance that the number of tasty restaurants have popped up around Tamagaya recently. Also, hi, Mrs. Fantastic! Now there's Mrs. Fantastic again, and not Mr. Welcome back. Waifu. And free food samples are frequently available there, often given outright out on the street. There are regular eating competitions held in Shibuya too, and the number of all-you-can-eat restaurants has been expanding. Maybe it's all just part of a plan by Okoshi Pharmaceutical to research a young woman named Chiriko Osugi. Did you enjoy a tale of artistic agony? We already have. Did you enjoy our tale of Okoshi Pharmaceutical's mysterious plan? If you're still hungry for more, we've got some new info for you. In Achi's story, during the 1300 time block, a cat creeps into the dark storehouse. Try taking a close look at that scene. Oh god. Oh god. I remember this. It's Bloody Tama. It's Bloody Tama. Though who is the person... Did we ever figure out who's the person in the cat suit? Did we ever figure out who was the person in the bloody cat suit? It can't be Tateno. Interesting. All right, we're almost done here. Question 9. We got 3 questions left. Frank belonged to the section of the Chicago Police Department. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, we never remembered who's in that. Okay. So, this is a Jack Stanley one. Daisuke Frank. So it has to be right here. You have to write this down. 6 o'clock p.m. Frank. Bomb and Arson Squad. Bomb and Arson Squad. Because I want to finish the quiz before we end the stream, so. I'm also starving. Bomb. There we go. I love the golden Tama that's there. It's pretty awesome. Koji Kuze. Huh? What's that? Koji Kuze, sitting in the private study, furrowed his brow. The look on his face was much like the one he wore when he made an appeal to Task Force HQ, but his gaze was fixed on his video camera's LCD display. There was his son, Tetsuya, standing on third base, giving a triumphant fist bump. Huh, that's odd. He rewound the videotape a little. Kuze had purchased the video camera to record the tournament his son had competed in. It was able to take footage at full HD with 5.1 channel audio. With a trembling finger, Kuze pressed the play button. The footage started playback right at the point where his son hit the ball up right between right and center field. That's it, kiddo! Run, run! Kuze really had heard it. Whose voice was that? Someone alongside him had been murmuring the words as he filmed. Go on, run until your heart gives out, sport! But there hadn't been anyone nearby who spoke in such an acceptable childish register. Otherwise, he'd know right away who the strange voice belonged to. In the video footage, his son rounded second base. Attaboy, Tats, keep running! Head for third base, champ! The unsettling voice was even louder now. And that Tats in there, it sounded utterly familiar. Just who the heck was this weirdo giving cutesy nicknames to his son? You did it, Tats! Woohoo! Yeah, that's my boy! Dots. Huh? My boy? So then that means... Kuze swallowed, his mouth suddenly dry. No, it can't. No, it can't be! That's my voice? Do I really talk like that? Kuze was flabbergasted. No, my voice can't sound that way! The video camera began to shake in his hands. For the first time in his life, Kuze had been made aware of the childish squeaking he made when he got excited. To hell with this! He lifted the camera high above his head, but before he could hurl it against the floor, he reconsidered. No, he couldn't do it. His son's accomplishments were stored inside the camera. Still, he needed to make sure no one found out about his verbal affectation. If his son had heard him sounding like this, Kuze would lose every shred of dignity he had as a father. What should he do? Was there some way he could erase his voice from the tape? He thought desperately for a way. Maybe he could mask it with other sounds in editing? No, that wouldn't work. If he wiped away the crack of the bat and the cheering of the crowd that just replaced it with a musical soundtrack, it would still be pretty awkward. Oh, I don't know what to do! Once again, I did this voice for Kuze because that's how he talks, and it's hilarious that he does. Kuze slumped down onto the floor, buried his face in a cushion, and kicked his legs up and down. At this point, he'd have to take the footage to one of the forensic researchers to see if they could do something with it. There would be disciplinary measures for misuse of lab time if he ever got found out, but risking that was better than letting people discover that he sounded like a hyperactive 12-year-old when he got worked up. Suddenly, the door opened. Dad, let me see that video. Kuze's son strolled into the study. No, I can't do that! Why not? Oh, well, there's his voice! He tried to hide the camera as he rambled. A voice? Oh, that's no big deal. Kuze blinked his eyes in disbelief at his son's words. I came in here earlier and watched part of the footage already. Kuze's jaw dropped. Tatsuya, you heard the voice? What voice are you talking about? This time it was his son who blinked his eyes in confusion. Well, so there's this pretty childish voice. Kuze's son broke out chuckling. Wait, Dad, did you seriously not realize that voice was yours? Huh? Dad, if you're worried about how you sound like a kid sometimes, I've already known that for a long while. Kuze's jaw gapped even wider. Oh, come on, Dad, you gotta tell me this sort of thing sooner. GG. Did you enjoy our charming little look at the daily life of father and son? Well then, we got an exciting little clue for you, kiddo. In Osawa's story, during the 1400 time block, Osawa imagines what might happen if the virus spreads throughout Shibuya. There's an odd command hidden in his imagination there. See you next time. I don't know what scene that's talking about. $1,400. Shibuya. I don't remember which one that is. Excuse me. I don't remember. Is that a bad ending?
第10問ついに来た
Ah, now it's question 10. This person called Maria Osawa in 1957. Well, gee, I wonder who it could be. That's the easiest question we've ever had. That was the easiest question. Koichiro Katayama. It was coming up to noon. The hour of the devil, the particular devil known to the support center staff as K. The incoming call light up on my phone flashed. I gulped reflexively, then taking a deep breath, I hesitantly pressed the accept call button. Thank you for calling Chin Food Super Center. This is Tanebe speaking. This is Katayama from Cho Nippo Printing. I had to swallow back the squeak that tried to rise in my throat. I've been right on the mark. The phone call was from K indeed. Hello, he asked. Yes, how may I help you today? I'm calling about your instant ramen, salt and chivalry. This again? I sighed inwardly. Katayama had been calling about the same thing for close to an entire year now. You hardly need to bother listening to know what he had to say. Why was my ramen still not finished after stepping in hot water for 3 minutes? The noodles were still too hard to be edible. I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. My response was right out of the manual. Would you be able to provide some more details, sir? I continued. I called about the same thing just last week. Did you? My apologies, sir. I tried to keep my voice as chipper as possible. Dealing with Katayama was a nuisance. He was a man driven by logic. Treating him the wrong way could lead to disaster. Some of the staff here had wound up listening to his matter-of-fact complaints from upwards of 12 hours, passing out with their phones still in their hands. Very well, for the sake of accuracy, I suppose I ought to explain again, Katayama said. If you would, sir. First, I peel open the lid, I tear open the seasoning packet and powdered soup base and sprinkle them onto the noodles. I add the hot water close to the lid, and wait 3 minutes, but the noodles are still far too hard. This was a familiar sequence of events. I heard it before. Begging your pardon, sir, but are you perhaps beginning to eat before 3 minutes have passed? Certainly not. I wait 3 minutes. Exactly. No, that's way late. That's way earlier, King. Are you checking your clock when you do this? Yes, my body's internal clock tells me it's been precisely 3 minutes. The urge to ask if he was messing with me grew. Sir, perhaps instead of your internal clock, you might want to try using a clock in your home that you have on hand? I have a personal policy not to use clocks or watches outside of my work. As I've done before, I fought off the urge to tell him what a ridiculous policy that is. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt just once. Perhaps you should try using an actual clock to track the time, sir. My body's internal clock is accurate. A 3-minute unit of time is not something I would mistake. No. Clearly you would. You are. You have to be. I want you to scream. If the product is not properly ready to eat in 3 minutes, that makes it defective. If it were possible, I would have liked to stick my head through the receiver and watch Katayama's 3-minute timing myself. I imagined the lecture I'd give him when he started eating before 3 actual minutes passed. Then, in my frustration, I had a sudden idea. Sir, perhaps we could check your internal clock against my clock here and test whether there's any discrepancy? Pretty good idea if I do say so myself. If that will convince you of my claims, then no, I do not mind. Yes, it was time to make this guy eat crow. If there was no discrepancy, however, I expect a proper apology. Then I felt like it stirred up a potential hornet's nest. Ah, what the hell. There's no way this guy's internal clock could measure 3 minutes on the dot. Alright then, sir, let's begin. I picked up the stopwatch that was on my desk. Internal clock diagnostic. This may be sudden, but here we're going to see just how accurate your internal clock is. Exactly 20 seconds after you press the button, a message saying 20 seconds have elapsed will appear on screen. How precisely can you judge a 20-second interval? Alright, let's begin. Please press the button. Alright, let's figure this out. I'm gonna time myself. So let's see how well my internal clock is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press the button and then I'll count out loud, okay? I'll count out loud. So 3, 2, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,006, 1,007, 1,008, 1,009, 1,010, 1,011, 1,012, 1,013, 1,014, 1,015, 1,020. Got it. Hey, Happy, how's it going? I got it right when it said okay. How did you do? Was your body's internal clock accurate? Yeah, it was pretty accurate. I stared in astonishment at my stopwatch. Well, Katayama asked, his voice composed. 3 minutes exactly, sir, not a second off. It was impossible. I was trembling. So now, do you believe me? My apologies, sir. I hung my head in defeat and heard a stifled chuckle from the other end of the line. Tell your supervisor that your product is defective. And that's when it began. The folks at Chen Food's product development department began work on a secret project. The product name? Anti-K. Based on Katayama's incessant calls, a reworked version of Salt and Chivalry was created. The new label the team had devised listed adjustable times based on noodle thickness and desired texture. 2 minutes for hard-boiled or thin noodles, 3 minutes for standard, 4 minutes for soft or thick noodles. That ought to shut Katayama up. The product development team was proud of its creation. Of course, even after the new version of Salt and Chivalry was released, Katayama wound up calling to complain again, but that's another story for another time. Then, off by 5 seconds? Dang. Because a lot of people have social anxiety. It's all good. How many people are at his stream? Hopefully he's doing well. I don't know why I asked that. Sorry. Did you enjoy our charming flick, Daily Life of Father and Son? No, that's not what we looked at. Did you enjoy our tale of the cutthroat behind-the-scenes world of product development? Now it's time to give you some choice information that's just common decency. In Achi's story, in the 1400 time block, there's a scene inside Gigo where Achi takes a punch from a debt collector. Take a good hard look right before the scene and see what happens. 1400... debt collector punch before. All right. Interesting. So we got 2 questions left. Let's see. Oh, sorry, last one. Number 11's a toughie. This method was used to crack the laboratory password. I know where to look this up. I know exactly where to look this up. So this will be the last one, and then we'll end off the stream, and then Travis is going to ask me when can tell what shoujo is. Alright, so this is going to be Kano's story. Well, canon talks about the 3 different ways. So. Here, stop it. Okay. Did fine. Alfred's in possession. Okay. Stanley. Guys. What's going on? Recycle license. Archie's face. Canon. Maria to lab. So that's Toteno. Okay, so this happens before. So this has to happen. Canon's proposal. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a lot. Playing Splatoon, I imagine. I'm taking it's that. Okay, I think it's brute force, but I'm going to write down all of these just to be sure. I want to say it's brute force, because I don't think side channel is it. Or shortcut. Yeah, go figure. See, I know the whole thing of, you know, playing Splatoon, get a lot of people watching, so on and so forth. I've heard this feel before. That's why I'm just curious, because it's good to hear that Splatoon's still doing, like, really, really good. But, you know, I moved away from it, you know,
第11問難問です
especially just because, you know, not brute force. So is it side channel? Maybe there's no dash. Hold on, I'm gonna...
そう答えたか
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of wish that we had more people watching at some points, but, you know,
残念
you know. I just, you know, I enjoy playing the games. That's the main thing. It is side channel. Really? I thought side channel was diverting the power.
正解
I swear that side channel was diverting the power. Suguru Makino. Suguru Makino's life was one of conflict. Playing factions against each other, crafting subtle interpersonal manipulations, he had done whatever was necessary to rise up within his company. He had even deceived close colleagues and sold out superiors who had helped him out on the way. By winning victory after victory on his chosen battlefield, he had managed to become corporate director at Akoshi Pharmaceutical. But he still needed to remain alert. If he let his guard down, he'd soon lose his position to the next guy who came along. To keep his finger on the pulse of industry politics, he always made a point of putting in an appearance at functions he was otherwise disinclined to attend. Executive Director Makino, you simply must come along with me to this place I found. It's got a bunch of cuties I'm sure you'll be smitten with. On this particular occasion, Makino's companion was a fellow who became a real nuisance once he got some liquor in him. I got you, Happy. The director's wordless reply was a simple deep furrowing on the brow. Oh no, Mr. Makino, don't worry, I know you detest that sort of thing. I really do, but this isn't going to be like that. It won't be like what? Even after drinking heavily, Makino never lost his composure. We had learned early in his career that acting drunker than he was often led to gleaming valuable information, so he let himself sway a bit as he spoke. Well, why not come with the understanding that you'll be surprised? I promise you, sir, you will not regret it. Makino had half a mind to spit in the guy's drunken face in hopes it would shock some sense into him. Nonetheless, he was interested in the technology the man's company possessed. Like it or not, he was along for the ride. Well, if you put it that way... Hey, taxi, the man called out without waiting for Makino to finish the reply. A cab promptly stopped to pick them up. Makino had assumed they'd be heading to some popular hotspot like Ginza or Roppongi, but instead his companion directed the cab toward the suburbs. Aha, and here we are! Makino was dumbfounded by the sight of their destination. They got out of the car in front of a dingy multi-tenant building with no signage out front. Surely he hadn't been brought someplace illegal. With a wary eye, he looked over at his companion. Don't worry about it, I'm sure you like this place. The man opened the door. Peering cautiously inside, Makino blinked in disbelief. What the hell? The interior design scheme was typical of an upscale cafe, aside from the fact that there were cats all over the place. What is this place? This is the cat cafe, meow meow! The man replied proudly. The cat cafe meow meow. Makino echoed the words reflexively as he tried to process what he was seeing. Isn't it cute? The man beamed broadly. Oh my. Makino felt a big bright smile coming on. No, he mustn't. He quickly suppressed the urge. Makino was extremely fond of cats. Due to his wife's allergies, however, he hadn't been able to keep one of his own. Director Makino, is this not really your thing? The man had taken hold of one chubby cat's forepaws, posing the feline lucky cat statue. No, I certainly don't dislike this. Makino managed to keep his poker face up. May I ask how you knew I liked cats? I saw the framed photo of a cat you have in your office. Ah, I see, that silly old thing. Still maintaining his aura of calm, Makino stroked a fluffy calico's back. No, not like that, Mr. Makino. You need to pet more gently, and then they like it when you rub them underneath the chin. I am well aware of that. Makino suppressed his initial response and instead offered a curt, all right. Scritch, rub, scritch, rub. The calico let out a throaty hum of contentment as Makino's fingers got busy under its chin. It was so cute! Too cute! Makino had half a mind to get down on the floor and start rolling around. Pardon us. Two young men, seemingly the managers, approached, taking care not to tread on any of the cats. The special course you requested is ready. Let's go, Mr. Makino. Makino's companion joyfully hopped to his feet. What is this special course? It's a secret. You might get a little dirty, so take off whatever clothes you can. Take off my clothes? What for? What in the world are you planning on doing with these cats?
Makino felt an unsettling mix of anticipation and unease. Hesitantly, he followed the others into a tiny private room. Just step inside and feel free to lie down and relax. With that, the managers departed. As per his companion's instructions, Makino stripped down to his briefs and tank top. After flopping down on the floor, he could hear excited voices coming from the room next door. Yes, amazing! Wait, what? What was the whole cat cafe just a front for some licentious backroom business? Had he been tricked? He needed to get his clothes back on right away. Sorry to keep you waiting. Abruptly, the door opened and one of the managers poked his head in. Let's begin. This may be a bit ticklish, but please try to relax as much as possible, and don't move too much. The manager gently set the cat he was holding atop Makino's abdomen. Huh? Then another on his chest. One in the crook of his arm. Then one on each thigh. Wait, so then this is... Yes, it's every cat lover's dream, the manager grinned brightly. This is the special course, the cat futon. Before he knew it, Makino's entire body was engulfed in more cats than he could count. Ugh. A joyful sigh escaped his lips. Now finally, Makino knew who he truly was. Conflict was never what he truly wished for. He wanted something fluffier, softer, warmer. This is heaven. Everything I've ever wanted is right here. Makino was enraptured. The cats on top of him occasionally milled about, purring and shifting position. Whenever they did, Makino would let out a tiny little breathe, tinged with pleasure. Oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. Suguru Makino, age 59, executive director of Akoshi Pharmaceutical, a man who had enemies both inside and outside his company, a man who sometimes contended with the nation itself. Hobbies included the cat futon. Makino was now cats. Did you enjoy our tale of a corporate warrior taking a little break? Well, here's some information for you because you're about to work some overtime. In Suzune's story, during their first meeting, a nervous Takuya inquires whether he can ask her name. See what happens if you hold off replying for a bit. Oh my gosh, there's one in Suzune's story. Takuya. What's your name? Interesting. Interesting indeed. Dang. But that's all of it for the quiz. That's the entire quiz. Save complete. You've cleared all game contents. Not really. We still have more to do. So we've got the pop quiz done. We still have a lot more special episodes to do. But here's what we're going to do. We have some scenarios we got to do. And we're not going to do them right now, but I do want to just let you guys know what we're going to be doing. So, next time when we play this game, play 428 Shibuya Scramble, which is going to be Tuesday again, we will do Suzune's story, as well as the one thing for Suzune, the one secret character thing. So we'll do that for Suzune. After Suzune's story, which should take 2 hours from what I read, it should take 1 or 2 hours, we will go back and we will do at least half of the other character stories. So we might have a lot more streams in this game than I thought. They could barely read it. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. Now, as far as what we're doing later, let me see. I'm just gonna see what we're gonna do, because I know we're gonna be doing Dead by Daylight late tonight. I'm gonna be editing highlights, as well as gonna try to edit some Smash Bros. Gonna want to get that taken care of because I have it all. I have it all there. So here's what the idea is gonna be. Because I'm going to talk to Travis, because I know Travis is like the big one who really wants to be there for Katawa Shoujo. Gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's going to be weird, but after what I just said earlier.
If Travis is still awake and we're going to be doing Katawa Shoujo to finish out Emi's route, then we'll do that at 4. So now we're 15 minutes from now. Do it for how long until we finish both endings. Go on from there. If not, then we're going to be playing Splatoon for 2 hours. And that will be at 4. So keep an eye on sub boxes just to see what we're going to be playing. I'm just going to wait to hear back from him. You guys should see essentially just the thumbnail probably around like 3:30, so give it about 45 minutes. And then we have Dead by Daylight way late tonight, which, you know, is normal. It's normal. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to get highlights out tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to get Word of Light edited and such, because I am behind on a few things. So that'll be interesting. That'll definitely be super interesting. Anyway, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching 428 Shibuya Scramble. We have just scratched the surface for the post-game content, so we will be doing more later. But have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, night, or evening. My name's Katafi. I'll see you guys next time for more Ready Gaming. See you guys later. Peace. Bye, everyone.